Disassemble the main tower of the hotel. Part of that is because of the asbestos that was found in the hotel, but also it is so close to neighboring buildings that they can't just blow it up and bring it down in one explosion even without the asbestos, because it would blow out all the windows. So what they're going to do is start taking it apart piece by piece, and the pieces that they do take apart, they're going to chuck down the elevator shaft. Now, if you're looking at the outside, you'll see these lifts that they've constructed around the exterior of the hotel. That's more as a precaution, so if anything does fall off on the outside of the building, it doesn't come crashing down from multiple stories up. Outside the Millennium Hotel, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
And it's time for the Wall Street Wrap, sponsored by Stifel and Ophthalmology Associates, with Stifel Director of Investments, Eric Roberts. So how do we finish up to start off the week?
Well, stocks gained ground to start the week. The S&P 500 advanced 0.2%, closing at a record 7,412. The Dow gained 95 points, or 0.2%, closing at 49,704, while the Nasdaq inched 0.1% higher, closing at 26,274, also a record for the Nasdaq.
And the latest on the price at the pump?
Well, the White House rejected a new proposal Iran sent to U.S. negotiators today. The revised Iranian proposal called for war reparations, full sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz, and end sanctions and the release of frozen Iranian assets. President Trump responded that the Iranian ceasefire was on life support and that the proposal was totally unacceptable. Oil prices pushed higher as a result, with Brent crude futures jumping 3.2% to settle at $104.52 for a barrel.
That is Stifel, Director of Investments, Eric Robert. Thank you. That's the Wall Street Wrap on KMOX.
We have another cool front on the way, but not until Tuesday night. We've got clear skies around this evening and overnight. 52 will do it for the low. Nice evening around town. On Tuesday, plenty of sunshine, warm it up in the afternoon to 83 ahead of that front. Tuesday night, here comes the front. Scattered showers and a couple of thunderstorms, but nothing widespread as far as strong to severe weather is concerned. But there will be storms rumbling. 59 degrees. Wednesday, sunny and slightly cooler, 75, keeping it nice on Thursday. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Sun and 75 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, they've pretty well wrapped up that crash. Looks like all the emergency crews have left the scene. Westbound, the ramp from 270 on to westbound 44 right there near Soccer Park, near the Road Ranger service station. Traffic still jammed coming off the 270 ramps, and South 270 is slow from south of Ladue all the way down to 44 right now. South 170, Ladue to 64, that's still heavy. Westbound 64 is off the pace. Kings Highway headed out to about Big Bend. It's slow Spady to Ballas, west of Clarkson to Topgolf, and it's backed up west of Winghaven, stop-and-go pockets all the way out to 70. Westbound 70 looks great, just a little busy through Cave Springs and T.R. Hughes through Highway K. 370 backs up west of the Mills most of the way to Discovery Bridge due to road work going on there. If you're traveling downtown, we have an incident on 44 near the Arch grounds. It looks like eastbound's backed up past the Poplar, westbound's backed up to the Mutual Veterans. 70 on the Illinois side is heavy through Packers Avenue, and 64 delays approaching 255 through 157. Next update at 5:20 from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Brought to you by Capital One.
Capital One offers no fees or minimums on checking accounts, and Capital One cafes are open 7 days a week to assist with your banking needs. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bankguy. Capital One N.A. Member FDIC.
News, traffic, and the latest on the Redbirds. This is the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
Sponsored by Busey Bank. Building community with Busey Bank. Beyond the game.
We have arrived to a new week. It is a Monday, and we do welcome you into the Redbird Rush Hour here on KMOX. Kevin Wheeler's got the day off. I'm alongside of Bernie Miklasz. I'm Matt Pauley, and we are with you all the way till 6 o'clock this evening. Cardinals off today. They'll play the A's tomorrow in West Sacramento. They just split a 4-game series against the Padres, and a series they very easily could have taken 3 out of 4. Bernie, great to see you. Great to talk to you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. Nice to work with you as always, Matt.
Yeah, that's I guess it actually is a testament, because every team over 162 games loses a game or 2 or 3 or more, the way the Cardinals lost yesterday. but it's something that really hasn't happened this year, where you're literally down to your final strike, and a guy who has been one of the best performers in Riley O'Brien gives up a home run. The next thing you know, it's tied, and all of a sudden they lose an extra inning. So a bummer of a loss, but also notable that it really hasn't happened all that often this year.
No, it hasn't. I mean, it was a lightning bolt. Those things will hit a team several times. Really bad teams will hit lightning bolts, strike those teams a lot. But the Cardinals have been pretty much free of that for the most part. And that had to be a tough one. You just look at some of the dugout shots on television, and you could just see it affected everyone. And Tony La Russa, always used to say, like, the worst thing that can happen, to a baseball team is where you are convinced you have a game won. You're getting ready to go celebrate. You're ready to go out on the field and slap hands and all that. And then all of a sudden it's gone. And you're like, wow, what the heck just happened? He said that those things hurt more than any other type of loss, which, if you think about it, makes a lot of sense. He's just talking about regular season games, not postseason.
It's a different type of adversity that this team has faced. Really, the adversity this team has faced this year is a 4-game losing streak and like a 3-game losing streak, which every team goes through. This is the first time they've had, I think, that extreme of a situation. So all year long, we've been talking about the character of this club. I have no reason to think that they're not going to react and respond well and everything. But also, this is a year filled with data points, Bernie, and this is potentially another data point to see what they do coming off that loss yesterday.
Totally agree. And the A's are a feisty team. They don't have the greatest pitching, at least not so far, but that ballpark, from what I understand, I have to admit, even on TV, I haven't watched many games there, but the ballpark's lively, to say the least. I mean, it promotes, I think it's something like 17% above league average in terms of offense in that ballpark. So I think it's going to be a challenge for a Cardinals pitching staff that definitely has been improving. It really has. But I also think with the Cardinals offense off to a pretty poor start in May, I think the day off, then you go into a hitter's yard like that. I think it'll jumpstart that offense too. At least I know that's what the Cardinals hope for, and they probably expect to do that. I'm sure everybody needed that day off, and they'll feel fresher and pretty fired up to take some shots out there in that ballpark that doesn't hold fly balls very well.
Maybe they went out to the vineyards because, Sacramento, that's right next to like Davis, California. That's big wine country, Bernie.
Could be. Yeah, we'll have to get a report on that.
Yeah, well,
we got to see which posers were out there trying to pretend to be wine experts.
If I do know that if you want to go into the wine making industry, UC Davis is the preeminent school to go to.
Why? Were you accepted there or something, or what?
I've done some basketball games there in my day, and I learned a little bit about UC Davis in my time just spending. You read a media guide, a game note, something like that. You start to learn a little bit about the local culture. So there you go, Davis, California, right next to Sacramento. I hate when outside forces can impact things in like a negative way. Here's my word. I don't feel great about this series against the A's, and it's all because of that ballpark, because I'm worried that the impact of the ballpark is going to just turn this into a weird, wacky, crazy series, and the Cardinals are going to end up on the wrong side of weird games. That's my fear going into these 3 games.
Listen, I did my research on StatCast. I'm not going to bore you. I'll just tell you this. Coors Field is and always will be, the biggest joke of a ballpark in terms of like, it's not baseball the way it should be. There's a lot of cheap hits, a lot of cheap home runs. Pitchers can't throw soft stuff, curveballs, any pitches it drops. So anyway, we all know Coors Field's a joke. It's a beautiful place, but it's a joke in terms of baseball. Sacramento's number 2 in the StatCast ratings in terms of, okay, what are the best hitters park in the majors? Whatever that park is called, a pretty close second to Coors Field for that type of baseball, to your point, my friend.
I think it's a stain on, and I'm not trying to like overstate something. Like I hear this coming out of my mouth. I'm like, okay, come on, you're going a little over the top here, Matt. But I think it's a stain on Major League Baseball that they're playing games for multiple years at this stadium. The Rays situation, you couldn't do anything about that. The roof got pulled off of a ballpark, and the best possible scenario was putting games in a minor league ballpark. I'm very accepting of that. It was a one-year thing. They got things figured out. They pulled a team out of a city and are putting them in and it's not even like a nice AAA ballpark. I broadcast AAA baseball for parts of 7 seasons. I know the nice ones out there. It's fine, but it's just your standard, like, average AAA ballpark, and you got big leaguers playing there for at least 3 years. It's just, I think it's a really bad look for Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I don't understand the thinking there. And listen, the story, I remember reading a story a few months ago, and the story could have been maybe exaggerated or something, but I didn't think so. And I thought it came from a respected source, the person who wrote it, but it was basically saying, John Fisher, the timetable that deplorable owner of that franchise and what he did to Oakland, but John Fisher, they could have sped up the construction of the ballpark in Las Vegas. They could have gotten it done to where at the end of this season, that's it. They're done in West Sacramento. Then they move to Las Vegas. But I forget what the heck his motivation was for saying, no, we'll play a third season, here in Sacramento. Why? If there was any way to get out of there, don't you owe it to the game of baseball? Don't you owe it to your partners? Don't you owe it even to the commissioner who was your co-conspirator in moving the A's out of there? Should you get to a major league place as soon as you can?
Yeah, you should. And like, if you've ever visited Vegas and then gone again like 6 months later, you see buildings that weren't there. So there is no city that can build stuff faster than Las Vegas. I have no doubt that they could have gotten that thing built a lot, and without cutting corners either. They could have done a very good job on it, and I'm sure he just didn't want to spend the extra money to have people working during the overnight or on weekends or whatever it might be. And he's a terrible owner, and a lot of times, if you're a terrible owner, you get punished for being a terrible owner. But so often we see he's getting rewarded with a brand new ballpark, a brand new revenue stream. I mean, he's going to make so much money off of this. And it's all a result of him just being probably a terrible human being, and for sure a terrible owner.
That was such a mess in Oakland for such a long time. It's a shame that in California, it's virtually impossible to get anything built with anything that involves public money. And I'm not saying that that's wrong. I mean, I think I give California some credit for maybe having their priorities in order. But my point is, if that thing had been resolved years ago with the way it should be, we all know that the Oakland Coliseum was falling apart. I mean, in 1988, I covered the World Series there, and, they made it look as good as they could, but you could just tell it was just, it's like, man, when, I remember talking to a bunch of writers from around the country in the press box. It's just like, when is this thing, when are they going to retire this place? And that's 1988. And you think Major League Baseball would have taken some leadership on this issue, but one thing that's, again, John Fisher is the villain. Don't get me wrong. But the one point that must be made, Lou Wolf, who native St. Louis and who was the A's managing partner for maybe 7-8 years, something like that. Lou Wolf recently wrote a book, and he said to him, the number one reason the A's are not in Oakland are the San Francisco Giants. That a couple of times they were getting close to a deal, and the Giants did everything they could to scuttle it, because the Giants wanted the A's. He claims they wanted the A's to move so they could take control of East Bay and particularly the San Jose market. Listen, I don't doubt that 1 minute. I don't doubt that at all. So if you think about it, it's a dog-eat-dog world. Of course, the Giants would want to have to control all of Northern California.
That's Bernie Miklasz. I'm Matt Pauley. You are listening to Redbird Rush Hour. Bernie, can you share with us a little bit about your friend Stewie?
I'd be happy to do it. Always pleased to talk about my friend Stuart Rosenblum of American Mortgage Corporation. Listen, Stewie's got a special offer for new clients, and it's for a limited time only. So I'm all fired up to tell you about it. Stewie's got an unbelievable deal for all new customers who are buying a home. 1% discount on interest rate for the first year. That's a big deal. For the first year of your new loan, you can lock in a 1% lower interest rate on a new 30-year loan and still get the bagel loan for additional savings. And of course, you'll have no closing costs. That's why. 30-year mortgage, interest rate lowered by 1% for the first year of the new loan, plus the bagel loan, only for new clients. That's only for new clients. But if you want to find out anything at all from Stewie, and this is a real thing, a serious thing, he wants you to just reach out to him on his personal phone. Like whether you text him, whether you call him, whether you just leave a voicemail. He gives his personal cell phone out to his customers, but anyone else who wants to learn more about how he can help. Here's the phone number, 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. You won't have to wonder, sitting on some customer service line if anybody's going to help you. Stewie will absolutely help you. But the biggest difference we all know is you get with Stewart's American Mortgage is you pay less, you keep more of your money because of the famous bagel loan. Stewart's the only one to offer it. It's the bagel loan because it's got a zero in the middle, like a bagel, and you pay zero in fees that other lenders charge for. It's a great time to refinance, and if you do, you pay no appraisal fees, no closing costs, no title fees, no broker fees. If you refinance over 3 years ago, it's time to look at refinancing again. Another example, real quick, when you buy a home and take out a loan for $200,000 or more, you pay zero lender fees. Couple more things real quick. Stewart likes to think he opens doors for his clients while making a confusing process easy to understand, and he is enjoyable to deal with. He really is. Outstanding service with Stewie and his son Jordan. Quick closes as little as 10 days. Transparency. Listen, call him at 314-324-4440 or Google Bagel Loan, and it'll take you right to the site. It's Stewart's American Mortgage, NMLS 226715.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, they're still working this crash downtown on Highway 44. This traffic reports service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. It's eastbound 44, right near the Horseshoe Casino. So 44 is backed up almost to Park Avenue. Westbound coming through is a little heavy, but not quite as bad. Westbound 64 from the Science Center headed all the way out to Hanley's heavy. There's a slowdown right through Mason and west of Clarkson to Topgolf. Still backed up most of the way from west of Winghaven out to Highway 70. Southbound 170 delays. South of Delmar down to 64. Westbound Highway 70 still a little bit busy right around Zembel. 79 through Highway K is sort of slow. 370 is just kind of busy approaching 141 to the Discovery. That looks better. Southbound 270, you're on the brakes from 64 down to Manchester. We had an incident. It opens up by the time you get to Doherty Ferry. Southbound 141 Big Bend into Valley Park is backed up on the Illinois side. 70 is just slow through Packers Avenue, and 64 is slow 255 through 157. I'm Roger Brand in the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Sandberg Phoenix serves your business in litigation, intellectual property, and products liability. We're more than a law firm. We're committed to your success. Learn more at sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Now, back to the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
Sponsored by Busey Bank. Building community with Busey Bank. Beyond the game.
That's Bernie Miklasz. I'm Matt Pauley. You are locked into the Redbird Rush Hour here on the home of the Cardinals, KMOX. They're back at tomorrow when they take on the A's. They just split a 4-game series against the Padres. Could have won yesterday, lost on a 2-run home run, and then eventually lost in extra innings. But the game tied up with 2 outs and 2 strikes there in the 9th inning. And Riley O'Brien, in one of his rare letdowns, let it go. And Bernie, I was actually, as that was happening, I was writing a tweet that I had to discard because of the way things finished. But what I was looking at, there were maybe 10 games in the season, Cardinals bullpen ERA was like 6.5. And I had sent a tweet that basically said, look, it's going to get better. And I was called every name in the book for doing that. So I was actually doing the research last night on what the bullpen ERA was since I had sent that tweet, and it was like 4.4, middle of the pack. Nobody's crowning them because they have a 4.4 bullpen ERA. That's not the point that I'm trying to make here. But the point that I am trying to make is you can win a lot of ball games with a 4.4 bullpen ERA. You can't win a lot of ball games with a +6 bullpen ERA. The pitching, and it's true about both relief pitching and starting pitching, the pitching, as you alluded to earlier, it definitely is continuing to improve.
Listen, the bullpen since April the 14th, and that's right around when the rotation started to really get better. But the bullpen since April the 14th, and that's 24 games ago. Okay, they ranked 20th in the majors at 4.18 ERA, and they've also like really improved their strikeout rate, and they've cut down on home runs. Like there's a lot of positive things happen. They've established George Soriano, they've established Graceffo, they've established a couple other things. Now, some people listening, because this is the world we live in, will say, well, what's so great about a 4.18 ERA, 20th? Oh, let's have a parade. Well, I'll tell you what's good about a 4.18 bullpen ERA that ranks 20th, because before that, in their first 16 games of the season, they had a bullpen ERA of 5.26, which was down near the bottom. So yeah, I think it's pretty good that they're shaving that ERA down slowly but surely, and they're also improving their strikeout rate. And Ali Marmol and Dusty Blake have also reordered the bullpen to where now they're finding solutions for where it used to be soft, like that 6th and 7th inning. Soriano has been fantastic in that role. Graceffo has stepped up in that role. I'm not sure who else I would trust yet. You and I both keep thinking Swanson's going to get better. Ryan Stanek, however, he definitely is getting better, and the numbers show that. And I think you and I both had some faith that he would do that too, because it's a matter of stop walking people and attack the hitters. And I think that's what he said. I'm going after the hitters. I'm throwing strikes, and so maybe the light bulb went off. But the bullpen's definitely improving.
It seems like right now, if they have everybody available and there isn't like some sort of crazy lefty lane, say in the 7th inning, it seems like they're going Soriano in the 7th, Romero in the 8th, O'Brien in the 9th. That seems to be your final 3 innings right now, which essentially means Soriano has jumped over Stanek. Maybe that changes as the year goes along, but Stanek does look better, and I think working him back in, the Swanson thing, Kevin and I were having a text message conversation, kind of going back and forth on this, because in his last 7 games, the strikeouts are there, and that's what gets you excited about it. But on the other side of it, the home runs and the hard contact are also there. So he's striking guys out, but when he's not striking guys out, he's giving up damage, and there's no way around that right now.
No, there isn't. And I like the fact that they're being patient. I know some people don't like the fact, and I can respect that, but we saw what Swanson did for that team last year and how great he was. And there's no physical problems that we're aware of. I'm sure it's a little bit of a loss of confidence, but he's just that sinker ball is not the monster beast-like pitch it was last year, By the way, just to top off your point, and listen, I know 9 games, that's what they've played in May, is a small sample. I know all that. But the bullpen ERA this month so far, 2.54, which is 7th best in the majors. And you know what their strikeout rate is in the first 9 games? Because that was a big problem.
That was a huge problem.
Their strikeout rate's close to 25% this month.
That's fine.
And the rotation strikeout rate since this day I pointed to in the calendar, of April the 14th. Since then, by the way, I might as well throw this in. And again, that's 24 games ago. But since April the 14th, the Cardinals starting rotation's got a 3.36 ERA, number 5 in the majors, and the only teams ahead of them over that time: Brewers, Rays, Dodgers, and Atlanta Braves. That good company to hang with. And they have also raised their strikeout rate by about 5%, almost 6% from where they were before that stretch began. So, I'm very happy to talk about how the pitching staff is improving. No matter how many people are telling us, well, you two sound like you work for the team or whatever that is, because you can never dish a compliment. I know that. But the facts show the bullpen and the rotation are getting better. The question is, will it last? Or can it get even better than what we've seen lately? Like, what is the upside?
Yeah, I want to talk about that actually a little bit coming up in our next segment. But right now, before we get to that, Bernie, can you tell us a little bit about Saliga?
I'd be happy to do it. Saliga Heating and Cooling is a Daikin Comfort dealer that has been taking care of families in St. Louis since 1927. The Saliga family's continuously owned this wonderful business for 100 years now. Dan Saliga, my guy, fourth owner, operator of the family business. Saliga's paying a visit to our house this week to do a maintenance check. Looking forward to see whoever comes out, because that's the thing about Saliga. When they come to your home, they're not only knowledgeable and professional and honest, but they're really pleasant to deal with. Something that could be like excruciating, where you don't trust them, or you're not sure you can believe what they say or whatever. Like, no. With Saliga Heating and Cooling, you never have to worry about that. They got a 100-year track record to prove it. And we know firsthand, being a Saliga client for 18, 19 years, that the integrity issue is never a question. They want to earn their trust every time they visit your home. They got to prove it, and they got to prove it, and they got to keep proving it. So you're getting their best every single time, and they'll work with you, answer all your questions, explain everything. It's just a wonderful St. Louis family business located down in South City, but they cover this whole area, and they're great at what they do. So why don't you check out all their services, including the maintenance program they call the Priority Club. You'll save money with that. And that's all you need to know. You give them a call, or you just go to their site. You'll get the phone number at SaligaHeatingandCooling.com.
Bernie Miklasz on KMOX is sponsored by Stewart's American Mortgage, home of the Bagel Loan, and by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin comfort dealer.
At 5:30, we've got sunshine and 75 downtown at the Arch, sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Creve Coeur residents are urging the city council to not approve a 147-unit luxury apartment complex tonight when they meet.
Well, the Garrison Company is requesting the Creve Coeur City Council rezone a commercial lot located between Gracer Road and Mary Meadows Lane on Olive Boulevard so they can turn it into a large mixed-use development. So large, it's drawing pushback from residents. Here's one of them that I spoke to, Mary Rothstein.
Goes to like 160,000+ square feet on this corner. It has a 4-story building looking into people's backyards.
Rothstein is also concerned that the proposal doesn't fully meet the comprehensive plan for redevelopment in Creve Coeur, saying the plaza that's being proposed as a part of this development is quite small and doesn't really appeal all that much to local residents. In Creve Coeur, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Indiana lawmakers pledged about $1 billion in state money for the new Chicago Bears stadium, but Indiana leaders are waiting to see what the team does before they approve the new taxes to pay for it. Nancy Hardy has the details.
The financing proposal would have Lake and Porter counties enact a 1% food and beverage tax that's expected to generate at least $12 million a year. Projections for the proposed 5% innkeeper's tax in Porter would raise another $5 million. They have until the end of June of next year to pass those. The Post-Tribune reports the president of the Lake County Council, Christine Sid, says it's premature to consider either proposal until the Bears sign an agreement with the state to relocate to Hammond. Her counterpart in Porter County says they won't discuss the taxes until new board members are elected in November.
School kids in Mexico may get out about a month early because of the World Cup soccer championships and unprecedented heat.
The last-minute move to end classes early means millions of kids in Mexico could be left without summer plans, complicating life for their parents, too. Mexico's education ministry's decision has been met with local protests in states where there are no World Cup soccer games. A final decision is expected today. Adrienne Vard, CBS News, Mexico City.
Mexican federal education officials made the change last week, but it's being challenged by states where there are no World Cup games and temperatures are normal. Games will only be played in 3 locations in Mexico. A phone is the latest art installation at Jefferson Barracks Park. The Wind Phone installation features a hanging rotary phone and invites people who have lost a loved one to share a phone call.
And the phone itself is not a payphone. It is what I would call a kitchen phone. It's a rotary phone that hangs on the wall. I wanted it to feel like you were at home a little bit, so you could talk on this rotary phone that you would talk to like your friends in the kitchen or whatever. So it would have a more homey feel.
Artist Catherine McKay says the piece was inspired by a Japanese payphone installation that served the same purpose. The wind phone is located behind the Veterans Memorial Amphitheater on a path that overlooks the Mississippi River. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk for tonight, showers and a few storms, non-severe, low 53 degrees. And as we get into the next day forecast, we've got a high of 81 for tomorrow with sunshine, and we'll dip down into the mid-50s tomorrow night. Right now, we've got sun and 75 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're struggling to hear conversations, TV, or the people you love, now there's an easier, more affordable solution without spending thousands. Audion Hearing makes high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98 with free shipping and dedicated one-on-one support in the comfort of your own home. No doctor's offices, no pressure. Clearer hearing delivered right to your door. Join over 1 million happy customers hearing life more clearly. Visit audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Stan Musial, he missed a season in his prime to serve his country in the Navy.
Honor a legend on Saturday, May 16th when the Cardinals face the Kansas City Royals. Fans can secure a Stan Musial military bobblehead presented by Coca-Cola and Deerbirds. This patriotic collectible celebrates Stan's Hall of Fame career and his service to our country. A true symbol of character on and off the field. A tribute worth displaying and remembering. Don't miss it. Get tickets and details at cardinals.com/promotions.
Some Sundays are made for the water. Sunday, May 17th, as the Cardinals take on the Kansas City Royals, make it a ballpark day, too. That day, you can score a Cardinals boat tote presented by Coca-Cola and Walmart. A classic summer bag that fits right in from the dock to the dugout. It's ready for long weekends, sunny afternoons, and whatever plans you have next. Get tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
Hey, Bernie here, and I'm really proud to talk to you about Window World. This is a great St. Louis business. For over 20 years, they've been the gold standard in windows and other services that St. Louis families very much have come to appreciate. I want to give you the number right at the top. It's very easy to remember. 1-800-GET-WINDOWS, 1-800-GET-WINDOWS. Okay, so what makes these guys special? What separates them? Well, it's the commitment to service. It's proven over time. They rank number 1 in the country by Qualified Remodeler magazine for their service. They're one of only two brands to earn the Good Housekeeping Seal of Approval. That's another big time endorsement for them. And this isn't just a national name. No, you have the St. Louis location has been locally owned and operated by folks born and raised right here for more than 23 years. So they are a big part of the community. They do a lot of charity work. They dedicate their time and their money to help others. Really good people that have improved the homes of over 80,000 neighbors in St. Louis and Illinois with a lifetime warranty that covers parts, labor, and even glass breakage. Window World has installed 616,000 windows locally and still counting. Right now, Window World is offering 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit for you. You're ready for new windows. If you are ready for new windows, siding, or doors, just call for a free in-home estimate today. You can't go wrong because they are great. It's 1-800-GET-WINDOWS, 1-800-GET-WINDOWS. It's windowworldstlouis.com.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. YourEyeDoc.com.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, we got trouble headed into Madison County right now. We have a crash eastbound 270 just before we get to the Canal Bridge. I believe IDOT said the right lane's blocked. Traffic's jammed at Riverview on the Missouri side on eastbound 270 right now. Solid jam there if you're headed that way. Other than that, westbound 70 is just a little busy around Highway K. Westbound 64, Science Center headed out through Bellevue is slow. And then again from 364 out to 70 is busy the whole way through. Those 64 ramps at 270 north and south are congested, backed up at South 270 itself. Pretty much back on track. They just cleared a crash southbound 141 at Gravois. Traffic still backed up, traffic still jammed back near the Dearbrooks Plaza north of 30, and it's also still heavy south of Big Bend going down into Valley Park. Other than that, the rest of these highways are looking pretty good. 70's just a little slow at Packers Avenue, 64 eastbound at 157. I'm Roger Brand in the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
The new Haverty's Furniture Showroom is now open in Gravois Bluffs. Come visit us now. Ready to refresh your space with furniture that's built to last? The new Haverty's Furniture Showroom is now open in Fenton and Gravois Bluffs. Experience Haverty's regret-free guarantee for yourself and shop the latest in living rooms, bedrooms, and more. Visit Haverty's now in Gravois Bluffs.
It's 5:41 in Mid-America. This time check being brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
Now, back to the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
Sponsored by Busey Bank. Building community with Busey Bank. Beyond the game.
That's Bernie. I'm Matt. This is Redbird Rush Hour here on KMOX, taking you until 6 o'clock. Sports Open Line tonight, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. And we've got Cardinals baseball tomorrow evening when they open up a series in West Sacramento to match up against the A's for a 3-game set. Bernie, we kind of teased this going into our last break about whether pitching can actually get better. I want to really lock in and focus in on one guy who's doing things that just I did not expect him to do, no matter how highly I may think of him when the season got started. And that's Michael McGreevy, who on Friday night went 6 scoreless innings, 1 hit, a career-high 9 strikeouts to go along with just 2 walks. He has 18 strikeouts over his last 3 outings where he's given up just 1 run. And, man, I like Michael McGreevy a lot. I was not expecting a 2.18 ERA and 33 strikeouts and a 184 average against when we got into mid-May. I don't know if it's sustainable or not, but he is doing such a nice job right now.
Well, Matt, I share your enthusiasm for McGreevy, a total class guy, also really smart, really, really smart in his preparation, but also he's quick on his feet as far as adjusting during games. He's a tough competitor. You know, he is the classic example of maybe how the art of pitching is underappreciated. And listen, man, I'm an advanced metrics guy and all that, and I don't apologize for that, but I've never drank the Kool-Aid to the point where if a guy's got an ERA in the low 2s, you look at him and you sneer and you sort of make fun of him. You say, well, because of his metrics, this and that and this and that, it tells us he's really not that good. You know, sometimes This is where I break from the sabermetric community, because I do realize that those metrics can tell you something. They can be predictive. I get that. But where I break from them is like, sometimes you just have to watch the game, okay? Yeah. And Matthew McGreevy has been an excellent starter for the Cardinals. Whether his ERA should be higher or whatever the theory is, if he keeps striking out guys at this rate, well, I don't know what else there would be to say at that point, because that's the one thing that people that are skeptical, they always zero in on. Well, he doesn't strike anybody out. Well, now he's starting to. I mean, this guy is just a delight to watch pitch. He really is.
He's so much fun to watch pitch. He's so much fun to watch pitch. I ran into my former freshman football coach at Target yesterday, and the first thing he said to me was, "How about McGreevy?" Like, it was. So many people are just, I think, really enjoying what he's doing. And to your point, Bernie,
right?
He might have an expected ERA above 6. Does anybody with eyes who watches Michael McGreevy pitch think he should have a 6 ERA?
No, absolutely not. And that also fails to take into account that he has cultivated a killer changeup that's one of the best in the business. So it's not like this guy's just like throwing it up there and hoping for the best. He's got a really, really smart plan. And I know he and Dusty Blake have worked really closely together to kind of maximize what he can do. But he's got everything you want. You wanted to see more strikeout punch, and now that's coming too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, see, again, man, that's where I get off the bus. When I'm watching a guy pitch as well as he does, but then there's people in the bus saying, well, his ERA really should be over 6. It's like, bus driver, let me out here. I'm out. Sometimes, like I said, man, and listen, analytics people hate this when people say it, but I'm going to say it. Watch the game. Okay? Watch the game.
That is one of the that's one of the biggest problems, I think, in sports media right now. People don't watch games, Bernie.
That's right.
People don't watch games. Right. And it's it's something that we all need to spend time watching games. That's Bernie. I'm Matt. We'll take a break. We've got more to get to. Don't go anywhere. You are locked into the Redbird Rush Hour here on KMOX.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds, and you can apply in minutes. You get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. That's ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may
As parents, we measure our child's life in firsts. First steps, first words. But for me, the most important was my son's first breath. Because of Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, that moment led to so many more. His first laugh, first birthday, the first time he said, "I love you, Mama." Make your pledge for patients today at homersforhealth.org to benefit the devoted fund. Your gift helps build a place where more childhood firsts are possible.
Gas prices are brutal, but Kaufman Townsley, St. Louis's injury lawyers, has your back. They're giving away $77 gas gift cards, fueling St. Louis all gas, no brakes. Enter until May 17th at KaufmanTownsley.com. Kaufman Townsley, St. Louis strong.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
For the last 33 years, you've discovered that at Banner Construction, we pride ourselves on quality craftsmanship. We believe the single most important decision homeowners must make when considering an exterior restoration project is who do you hire. At Banner, we provide well-engineered, meaningful, long-term solutions to transform your home into the pride of the neighborhood. Let us help you fall in love with your home all over again. Call or visit bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
Want to make the most of your tax refund? File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it with a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Hey, Missouri, it's game time. Start betting like a pro with the world's largest sportsbook at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I'm a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be, with high limits, player-friendly pricing, exceptional customer service, and more. Download your new bookie at circusports.com. The action starts now, Missouri. Experience the difference with Circus Sports. Bet like a pro.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
On Saturday, May 16th, join KMOX and Grassroots Redeeming Love in commemorating 1 year since the historic EF3 tornado that devastated North St. Louis with a short morning of service. Volunteers will meet in the Kingsway East neighborhood from 9 to 11 to help clear tree limbs and trash. If interested in RSVPing for the cleanup or interested in donating to the effort, go to KMOX.com/events for more information.
Within the cities we call home, Busey Bank is more than a name. It's a commitment to your dreams. With Busey, trusted guidance is tailored to empower you every step of the way. Whether it's seamlessly managing your finances or planning for your future, Busey is dedicated to your financial success. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, we still got a jam in North County heading into Madison County on eastbound 270. It's bumper to bumper east of Lilac, most of the way over to the Canal Bridge. The right lane was blocked by a crash there. Other than that, the rest of the Illinois traffic not bad. It's just a little slow eastbound 70 at Packers Avenue. Westbound Highway 64, Science Center out to Clayton Skinkers slow. The ramps to 270 still a little backed up, and then just a couple of heavy spots. Lake St. Louis Boulevard out to Highway 70. Westbound 70 looks good from downtown out to Wentzville. South 270 is pretty well cleared out, just a little off the pace at Manchester. South 170. Brentwood to 64 heavy. There's an incident eastbound 64 west of McKnight. It's backed up to Clayton Warson, and then it's still slow from 170 to about Big Bend after that. Next update at 5:59 from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Now, back to the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
Sponsored by Busey Bank. Building community with Busey Bank. Beyond the game.
Just a few minutes left on this edition of Redbird Rush Hour. Kevin Wheeler will be back tomorrow as we'll have a full 1 hour program. Sports Open Line comes up tonight, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. That's Bernie. I'm Matt. Bernie, a interesting development earlier today. We learned that Raynel Rodriguez, the 19-year-old phenom who had been destroying high A, is now, as a 19-year-old, going to double A. I'm not trying to make too much of it, but you start doing the math. If he continues to play at a high level, this could push his major league arrival time to at some point in 2027.
I agree with you, my friend, 100%. Listen, this kid has been unbelievable where, every league he's played in so far, like the average age of the league is it's been like 3 years older than him and more experience than him, yet he dominates. And Chaim Bloom and his people, the one thing about them, they're not willy-nilly. They're not like, what the heck, let's do it. They're very deliberate in their thinking, and they're not going to move people up. I talked to Chaim about this. They're not going to move people up in their system unless they're absolutely convinced the guy's ready and they're not setting him up to fail. They barely can conceal their excitement. They don't want to let the world know how much they're like swooning over this kid. But they're not alone. I mean, this is one of the very top prospects in baseball, and he's age 19. And the people that know him and watch him and are really familiar with him talk about his personal qualities too, like incredibly hard worker, a perfectionist. He wants to learn everything. He wants to get after it. He takes nothing for granted. He doesn't have any kind of like attitude. He just wants to be great. I can't wait for him to make it to St. Louis. It ain't going to be long. The question I have, and I'll shut up, the Cardinals are overloaded with catchers. Yeah. And at some point, Bloom's going to have to start moving some out.
He is, and this is not an indictment on the current state of catching at the major league level. It's just I thought there was a finite amount of time that they had to get a really good look at Jimmy Crooks before Bernal and Rodriguez were going to be pushing. I understand why Crooks is at AAA, but I personally, just for the let's see what they have standpoint, I wish Crooks was at the big league level right now. But it's a tough situation to be in.
It is. And, I kind of speak up for Pages, and people think I'm like president of his fan club, and they're missing the point of what I'm saying. The point is that they value his defense. And by the way, if you look at StatCast and you look at, like, he's in the 95th percentile fielding run value. He's in the 97th percentile with caught stealing above average. Fangraphs rates him as the 4th best catcher defensively in baseball. And the Cardinals have had a long-standing tradition of great defensive catchers, and he's right there with them. The point being, they really value his defense. So Ollie Marmol, Dusty Blake, and I think even Chaim Bloom, they're not going to dislodge him just to bring in even a prospect. I mean, it's going to be a big step for them to dislodge him and maybe trade him. But the Andrew Bailey trade, the Giants traded the best defensive catcher in baseball to Cleveland and got a prospect and the 29th pick in the 2026 draft. So there could be a market for Pages. And if there is a market, then I think Chaim Bloom will go ahead and move him, even though it might break Ollie and Dusty's heart.
It might break more than their hearts the way they love Pages,
right.
For sure. So I'd like to dive in on that. We have less than a minute to go, so we'll repick that up at some point in time. But I just don't want them to be stuck in a situation where they have to move one of these young catchers and they've never really gotten a full look at them at the big league level. But it's I guess it's a good problem to have when you have that much depth. Bernie, great stuff as always. We'll hear you on the station all week long, and we'll catch up on this show again coming up on Friday.
And don't forget Gas House Gang tomorrow at noon with Ollie Marmol.
Yeah, Oliver Marmol will be on for All Access on Tuesdays. It is must-listen-to radio in St. Louis every single Tuesday, 12 noon. You get the manager for 30, usually more than 30 straight minutes, and it's a great time. That's Bernie Miklasz. I'm Matt Pauley. On the way next, we've got our Gray Bar Sports Open Line, full program tonight with no Cardinals baseball. 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. It starts after the 6 o'clock news here on KMOX.
The NBA playoffs are ongoing, and they've been a lot of fun so far, and FanDuel is giving you better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long. With more ways to build and more value every time you play, you can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, every moment, from spreads to player points to threes and more. Build it all into same-game parlays and go for bigger payouts. So if you're betting same-game parlays this NBA postseason, you're going to want to do it on FanDuel, an app that is super easy to use. It is secure. It's intuitive. I've been using it for a long time and really enjoy it. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. Head to FanDuel.com/Missouri to get started. FanDuel, official partner of the NBA. Play your game. FanDuel.com/Missouri. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Americans demanded border security, and House Republicans delivered. According to the Department of Homeland Security, for 10 consecutive months, U.S. Customs and Border Protection has reported 0 illegal aliens released at the border. I'm proud to have worked with the Trump administration to secure our southern border and uphold our immigration laws, and will keep fighting to advance strong policies that protect Missourians and keep America safe.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Mizzou football will be here before you know it. Join us for the 100th anniversary of Memorial Stadium with season tickets. Join the season ticket waitlist at mutigers.com/FB waitlist and get ready to lock in tickets for 2026. The home schedule is highlighted by games against Florida, Texas A&M, Texas, Kentucky, and Oklahoma. Don't wait to reserve your spot. Join the waitlist at mutigers.com/FB waitlist. MIZ.
I'm
Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, the highways are clearing up for the most part. In fact, they did clear that crash we had eastbound 270 near the Canal Bridge. That's out of the way. There's still a backup east of Lilac to the Missouri end of the Chain Rocks Bridge going eastbound. Then it picks up the pace. I couldn't tell what was blocking, if it's a stall or a crash, but it's still out there. Eastbound 64 just before McKnight. Traffic's jammed back pretty close to Lindbergh now. A solid jam there. Westbound 64 looks good. Just the right lane's ballast onto North 270. That ramp's still congested. After that, it's just kind of slow west of Lake St. Louis Boulevard out to Prospect. Eastbound 64. No delays at all. South 170, just the ramp to eastbound 64, kind of busy at the U Club Tower. Southbound 270, that's all cleared out. Southbound 55 looks good on the Illinois side. Eastbound 70, just a little slow past Packers Avenue right now. I'm Roger Brand in the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Breaking news, the U.S. Supreme Court clears the way for Alabama Republicans to move forward with drawing up a new voting map ahead of the November elections. Alabama has been under a court order to use 2 largely black districts, but asked the court to reconsider that in light of a Louisiana ruling striking down a majority black U.S. House district as an illegal racial gerrymander. The Supreme Court extends its decision, allowing access to a widely used abortion pill. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
It's a 3-day extension of the court's stay of a lower court decision that would have halted mail delivery of mifepristone, so access to the widely used pill will remain untouched until at least Thursday, while the justices consider whether to allow restrictions on the drug to take effect. Medication abortions have accounted for nearly 2/3 of all abortions in the U.S.
18 Americans evacuated from a cruise ship hit with an outbreak of hantavirus are back in the U.S. for observation. Most are at a medical facility in Omaha, Nebraska, where CBS's Ian Lee is.
What we heard from officials today is that this virus is something that they know, but they don't really have many treatments for it. So it is important for these people, even if they don't have any symptoms or they don't show any signs of the virus right now, that they are here so that they can be monitored closely.
Gas prices have been climbing since the war with Iran began, and President Trump says he wants to help drivers by suspending the federal gas tax. Congress has to approve the move. Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan.
The federal gas tax waiver may be more simple. At the retail level, stations simply would not need to collect it. So if the tax were to become effective, say on midnight on Memorial Day, it would be generally a fairly swift reduction since stations would no longer need to collect this tax.
Meantime, President Trump says the ceasefire with Iran is on life support. Witnesses, including this driver, say a man was shooting at passing cars in Cambridge, Massachusetts earlier this afternoon.
He's shooting all over the place, goes into the road, all the cars are stopped both ways, and he's just shooting. And people started to get out of their vehicles and run, including me.
CBS Boston reports the gunman was shot by a state trooper and taken into custody. In Pennsylvania, authorities say scammers are pulling photos of missing pets from social media, then using AI to manipulate the images and using fake scenarios like claiming the animal needs emergency surgery to request money. Pennsylvania State Trooper Megan Fraser says,
assume everyone's lying and try to verify if you can. A lot of scammers use fear and sympathy to make people give them money or give information.
This is CBS News.
Go to the ends of the earth, half a world away. Reach for the stars.
If I take time to think, they might go get Brad.
On CBS, Sunday morning.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolade spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey. More like Mirajoyed. That Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
At 6:04, we've got sun and 74 downtown at the Arch. The St. Louis City Board of Police Commissioners is seeking a quick answer to a key question. How large of a budget are they entitled to? In a news release, the state-appointed board announced they voted in executive session. Members voted to seek immediate judicial guidance in calculating what the law empowering the board defines as the city's general revenue. The filing also asks a judge to decide on the $67 million budget gap between the board and City Hall. The board believes other funds like the Rams settlement funds are counted as general revenue. The city recently filed a lawsuit seeking to invalidate the law that moved control of the police department to the state-appointed board when the budget negotiations reached an impasse. Piece by piece, the final part of the Millennium Hotel is beginning to come down.
Well, the only part of the Millennium Hotel that is left standing is the main tower. And if you look at it from a distance, it doesn't look like all that much has been done to demolish the main tower. But that work is mostly going to happen on the interior of the hotel, as it'll be disassembled from the top bottom. And they're going to be taking the pieces that they take apart from the hotel and chucking them down the elevator shaft. Now, they are constructing some lifts that will encircle the hotel, and that's mostly to catch any debris that might fall on the exterior of the hotel while they're taking it apart. But part of the reason I've been told that they can't just blow it up and bring it straight down is not just the asbestos that they found in there, but also the close proximity of neighboring buildings, and that an explosion to take down the main tower could blow out the glass from those buildings. Outside the Millennium Hotel, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Creve Coeur residents will be at City Council tonight asking them to not approve the rezoning of a commercial lot for a 4-story luxury apartment. One of those residents, Mary Rothstein.
The community benefit is this very small triangle of land that is not really useful for anything.
The council meets tonight at 7. Let's get you to Roger Brand for the latest on the roads.
Well, Michael, we're wrapping up in pretty decent shape. This traffic reports the service of McKelvey Homes and at Valley Road out in the sort of southwest of St. Clair. We have an injury crash that has sent emergency crews there. As far as highways go, we just have a couple of brief backups. I mentioned that incident. I can't tell what it is, a stall or a crash in a traffic lane, eastbound 64 west of Ignite. So eastbound 64 is a solid jam at Lindbergh. Westbound 64, the ramp lanes at Ballast getting onto North 270. That ramp is still backed up. Other than that, the rest of the highways on both sides of the river right now are in great shape for you. I'm Roger Brand in the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
McKelvey Homes is breaking ground on something new in O'Fallon, Strawberry Farms. When McKelvey builds something, they do it right. Visit McKelvey Homes to schedule a tour at Strawberry Farms in O'Fallon. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today and move up to McKelvey.
Pretty nice weather across St. Louis. Clear skies in play. Temperatures will be mainly in the 60s for evening plans and 52 for the overnight low. Tuesday, plenty of sunshine. Southerly flow returns, warm it up to 83 on Tuesday afternoon. Tuesday night, here comes the next cool front with scattered showers and a couple of thunderstorms. It does not look like much in the way of strong to severe storms, but there will be some storms around. 59. On Wednesday, sunny and slightly cooler, really delightful, 75 for Wednesday afternoon. Wednesday night, clear skies, 51. Thursday, sunny and nice, 76. And then starting Friday afternoon, we have a bit of an extended warm-up on the way, and temperatures will be rising into the 90s. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
We've got sunshine. It's 74 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Come on, let's get going now.
From KMOX Sports.
We're primed and ready. All day, baby. Man, let's go.
This is the Gray Bar Sports Open Live. Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. On 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Here we go. Welcome in. Gray Bar Sports Open Line getting underway right here on KMOX. My name is Matt Pauley. I've got you till 8 o'clock tonight as we have a full program. We've had a lot of full programs lately. We'll have a lot of Sports Open Line this week. I guess we have some version, at least an hour and 40 minutes of Sports Open Line, 4 of the 5 nights this week. So for those of you who are, big Sports Open Line lovers, we got good news for you because we are with you just about every night as the Cardinals do continue playing out west. They are going to match up against the A's coming up tomorrow as they're going to be out in the Sacramento area. West Sacramento, to be specific. Those people will tell you West Sacramento is it's not Sacramento, it's West Sacramento. Where we always try to be precise and on the money, and that's the case with that ballpark that the A's are playing in for a handful of years. We do welcome you in. If you want to chime in on anything that we're talking about today, you've got multiple ways to get connected with the show. You can call or text 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. Calls, text. You can always tweet at me if you'd like, at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air. Or for those of you who are watching on the video, the streaming video, you can just leave a comment on the chat. Especially, I don't know how much, if you comment on it on Twitter, I'm not sure if it comes to me, but for those of you who are watching on YouTube, YouTube seems to be the preferred way to watch the show if you want to interact with the show. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, but the comments that I see on our little studio deal, I guess we do have one Facebook, and then everything else is YouTube. So I guess Facebook or YouTube would be the way. I never see. I don't think commenting on it on Twitter works because I never see people's comments from Twitter to that. So if you're going to comment on Twitter to me, tweet at me at Matt Pauley on air. If you are watching the video on Facebook or YouTube, you can comment in the chat, and that's how it'll get to me, and we'll watch those things as we do go along in the program. Interesting weekend for the Cardinals, and I think the fact that we can be as disappointed as we are about them losing yesterday's game, where it really felt like they had the opportunity to do something special. Going to San Diego and winning 3 out of 4, that'd be pretty special. That'd be a really, really good weekend. That's something to be absolutely proud of. And the fact that there can be at least a seed of unhappiness, a seed of discontent that they end up splitting a 4-game series against a really good Padres team on the road, that says something about where this team is at right now. And part of it is the way they lost yesterday, the fact that you bring in your closer, the fact that he's got 2 outs and 2 strikes, and it looks like you're just about to close this one out, and then it ends up not going down that way. But you have those. You have those games every team experiences some version of that. Most teams experience some version of that multiple times over the course of the year. And it's good when it hurts. It's good when it hurts, because if it hurts, that means it means something. If this team is already 10 games below 500, if they're already buried in the division, the things that a lot of people were telling me is what they were going to be this year. I can't tell you how many people told me this team wasn't even going to win 60 games this year, and they are already better than a third of the way to that number. And I don't know what it's going to look like at the end of this year, but the fact that we can be sitting here and talking in the middle of May about feeling pretty terrible about a Cardinals loss yesterday, that tells you the bar that has already been raised this season. Doesn't mean the bar can't be lowered at some point. Doesn't mean that expectations can't change as the year goes along. Doesn't mean that they won't start to fall back. I mean, at some point, they're going to be playing their teams from the division more often. And I think that's going to, the Cardinals are not the only team in the division that has not played a lot of games against them. So the Cubs have played 7 games against the Central. The Brewers have played 5 games. The Cardinals have played 6 games. The Pirates, they're the team that's played the most amount of games against the division. They have played 15 games against the division. No, I can do math. 16 games against the division. And the Reds have played 10. So your top 3 teams in the division have all played 7 or less games against the division this year. And, for the most part, 3 of the 5 teams have an above 500 record against the division. The Cubs are 5-2 against the Central. The Cardinals are 5-1 against the Central, and the Pirates are 9-7 against the Central. The Brewers are just barely below 500. They're 2-3. And the Reds have been terrible against the division, and that's the reason they're where they're at and not the first place team in the division anymore. The Reds are 1-9 against the Central so far. Sidebar on this, by the way, I am mildly concerned about what we're going to see from the Brewers here moving forward. They looked awesome over the weekend against the Yankees. The fact that we saw when they opened up that series against the Cardinals that they got Churio back, they got Vaughn back. They're for a while they was looking like, hey, maybe this is going to be the year where we say, you know what? They don't look so great on paper, and maybe they won't completely exceed what they look like on paper. Well, I don't know. They're the second place in the division right now. They're in a virtual tie with the Cardinals, and I think they are going to play a lot better than they've played over the first 6 weeks of the season. I would love to be wrong. I would love to be wrong on that one, but they appear to be a scary team right now. And I'm just curious, as divisional opponents and divisional play starts to pick up a little bit more, I would have to think that there's going to be some separation somewhere in the division. I'm just not totally sure what that's going to end up looking like. We got a fair amount of things to get to here over the 2 hours today. Stephen Carey is going to join us in about 5 minutes or so. TV broadcaster with the Cardinals, going to be doing some interesting work over the next few days. We're going to talk with him about that. We've got a Battlehawk on after they picked up a really good win over the weekend. Stephen McBride is going to join us. They had a special night at the Dome on Friday. And also in the 7 o'clock hour, we'll hear from Brian Walton from the CardinalNation.com. We'll also play back part of what Chaim Bloom said to Tom Ackerman during Sports on a Sunday morning. So we have a lot to get to today. As always, if you want to chime in on anything that we are talking about, we always welcome your text messages in at 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. You can also call that same number when we're taking phone calls. You can tweet at me, at Matt Pauley on air, and you can also go ahead and just leave a comment in the chat for those of you who are watching on the video stream. It is a Gray Bar Sports Open Line. We will take a break. We've got more coming up in just a moment. You're locked in here on the home of the Cardinals, KMOX.
For decades, Morgan & Morgan has represented hundreds of thousands of people at their hour of need. Injuries on the job, car crashes, medical malpractice, and nursing home abuse, Social Security claims, dangerous drugs, and dangerous products. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason, and no firm is even close. Then we got to thinking, what if we could prevent these terrible events before they occurred? So we built the AI-powered People Protector. Simply visit peopleprotector.com and type in the product you have questions about before you buy it. Children's toys and accessories, cars, drugs, products, you name it, we got it. With our success, we decided to pay it forward for all of America. Our way of saying thank you for your trust all these years. Morgan & Morgan, protecting America. And if you've already been injured, just visit us at forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why would life-saving care require a membership? In a real emergency, are you reaching for your wallet or your phone to call 911? And what if the member helicopter isn't the closest one? What if they don't carry blood on board? What if those differences matter? They do. Arch Air Medical Service is proud to serve Effingham and surrounding communities with life-saving air medical care. Our highly trained crews deliver advanced medicine in the air, because when seconds count, capability matters more than a card in your wallet. Plus, we're part of Air Methods, the nation's largest air medical provider. Worried about cost? Here's the truth. The No Surprises Act protects patients with private insurance from unexpected out-of-network air ambulance bills. You'll only pay your in-network copay, coinsurance, or deductible. If you have Medicare or Medicaid, similar protections apply. Providers cannot bill beyond those limits. That means no air medical membership is needed. Learn more at airmethods.com. Copays, coinsurance, and deductibles are set by insurance providers, not Air Methods. Terms and costs may vary. Contact your insurer for details.
Ready for a fresh start? The Excel Center in St. Louis is here to help you earn your high school diploma, tuition-free and on your schedule. With convenient locations in downtown St. Louis and Florissant, you can learn at your pace with support every step of the way. Need childcare, career coaching, flexible classes? We've got you covered. Registration is now open. Don't wait to take the next step toward your future. Visit excel.mersgoodwill.org to enroll today. This community message has been brought to you by Together Credit Union.
Bring your home back to life with Zero Res, a fresher clean that you can actually feel. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $139 and whole home air duct cleaning starting at just $599. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and tell them about the DGS KMOX deal.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
It's Graybar Sports Open Line right here on KMOX. Cardinals off tonight. They open up a 3-game series in West Sacramento against the A's coming up tomorrow. Very happy to welcome back onto the program right now. He is a Cardinals TV broadcaster. It's going to be there's going to be a lot of carries involved in broadcast over the next few days as the Cardinals and A's play against each other. It is our good friend Stephen Carey. Stephen, always appreciate you taking some time with us. How are you?
Oh, always a pleasure to be here, Matt. And I don't know if I can be officially called a Cardinals TV broadcaster, considering the fact that I'm going to be on Athletics TV this week. So it's very interesting how things are working out here, but I'm very excited to get to do these games, especially with a hot, exciting Cardinals team. They played really well in San Diego, and I definitely have a dog in the fight, but it's going to be hard. I don't want to root against my brother, but I don't want to root against our guys either.
Yeah, so are you and your brother doing the broadcast together? Is that how it's going to work out?
That is how it's going to work out. So I've been waiting to tell people about this. I finally got the green light on being able to say, yes, I will be on NBC Sports California doing the game with my brother in Dallas Braden. So if I get a little excited for the A's, that has been by instruction. So I am very much looking forward to calling my first games in 2026. It just didn't happen to be in the colors that I expected them to be.
I had an idea you were doing this. I'm glad you did get the go-ahead to say that you were doing it, because I could have just messed everything up asking that question if it wasn't out there yet.
Well, you're the first to know, Matt. So I wanted to be able to say to the Redbird fans before they hear some highlights of me getting excited for the A's that's just how it ended up working out. So hopefully the Cardinals can play well. Hopefully everybody plays well and has a good time. That's the way I'm looking at it. But no, I certainly will. And making some history with my brother and having some great family memories being created as well.
Yeah, it's really cool. And, last year when the Cardinals played the A's here, there were some things that were done. And I mean, it's it's an awesome thing that you and your family get to experience this, and just 3 carries working in 2 booths basically right next to each other. It's a really awesome thing. And it should be noted, you and your brother, I don't know if everybody knows this, you and your brother were broadcast partners at AA, so this is not like the first time you guys have worked together. This takes you back to your minor league days.
Yeah, far from the first time we've worked together. We're roommates, and that's something that we take very seriously. We're really excited about getting to work together again on the major league stage, because everybody harkens back to our family history, to what my grandpa did, what my great-grandpa did, and what my dad has done. I think this is our own little wrinkle of being able to be the first identical twins. I think the first twin brothers, and maybe even the first brothers on play-by-play to share a game together in Major League Baseball history. So it'll be cool to get to do that, especially with a team that he's so passionate about and has been great to both of us. And the brain trust of John Fisher and the amazing staff of the Athletics putting this all together is a dream come true for the two of us.
I don't mean to put words in your brother's mouth, but I know you talk to him a lot. What has the experience been like for him going through this very odd transitional period for the A's, leaving Oakland, not having their ballpark ready in Las Vegas yet, playing in a AAA ballpark? I mean, it's just it's not a normal situation.
Well, Matt, you know it. You're a major league broadcaster. You've done play-by-play for years and have done your show for years. It is a lot of pressure when you first step into it. Now you couple that with a team moving away from Oakland, California, and some really loyal and frustrated fans in your first year trying to figure everything out. It was difficult, and I think he navigated it extremely well. He had some great partners. He had some people that were really helpful in his development. But I think he's kind of overexceeded every expectation. And I could say that because I'm his brother. I think a lot of people looked at this minor league guy and said, oh, he's a minor league guy. And that first game he did, Lawrence Butler had a walk-off hit, and people said, okay, Chris Carey can do this. And he's made the broadcast his own. He is really somebody that I'm so proud of because he's my best friend and the closest person to me on planet Earth. But I think that the experience has been great. In a roundabout way, it's been a great experience, and the organization has treated him very well. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with them in the future, and their team has suddenly gotten pretty hot. So it's been fun for him this year especially.
We're talking with Stephen Carey. He is a Cardinals TV broadcaster, but this weekend going to be moonlighting over on the A's side, working with his brother Chris, who does a lot of work with the A's on their television broadcast. Just talking about this team for just a moment before we get out of here. And certainly a disappointing loss yesterday, Stephen, but every team experiences those over 162 games. And it kind of says something about where this club is at, that we can be as disappointed by that loss, just because right now we're almost expecting this team not to have losses like that.
Yeah, we spoke with Ollie Marmol after the game yesterday, and he said this team expects to win every game. They don't care who it is. They don't care if there's 46,000 people in the stadium or 6,000 or 9,000 in the case of the Athletics in the AAA ballpark this week. It's going to be very interesting to see how they respond. I think they would have liked to play today if they had the choice to, because they were angry. They were frustrated. And I think that motivation by Ollie Marmol and his staff is really going to help this team over the next 3 games. They were angry. You could hear a pin drop in that clubhouse, but they are the same group that turns the page very well. They're not worried about what happened. We saw what happened against Seattle, and then they go and sweep the Pirates. They took half the games against one of the better teams in the National League in one of the most hostile environments in baseball. I think we should be crediting and applauding this team for what they were able to do in the first part of this road trip and what they've been able to do over the 16-game stretch, which was initially 17 without any rest. They went 9-7. Yeah, they had a chance to go 10-6. They probably had a chance to go 11-5, but they did a really nice job. They seem like they haven't been affected by the lack of rest, and today they're getting some much-deserved rest. They're getting a team in the Athletics who will have some help from the minor leagues coming up and maybe re-energize them after an East Coast road trip.
We're talking with Stephen Carey, Cardinals broadcaster. Going to be doing some work on the A's broadcast over the next few days as well. We hear Ollie say all the time, and this is very often connected to like a starting pitcher where maybe they push them to facing the third time through the order or get them into the 6th inning or push that pitch count higher than it's been. And Ollie will say something along the lines of, we want them to feel that. We want them to experience that. In a year where it is a lot about guys feeling things and experiencing things. Is there value to experiencing that type of loss yesterday, a loss that every team does go through, and knowing what it takes to put that in the rearview mirror right away and get back to playing baseball the way you have been playing?
Yeah, I think that you're right on the money, my friend. In fact, Ollie sort of alluded to it, that there's that question of, is the long-term goal of trying to help this team develop and play well worth winning a game like yesterday where they didn't play particularly well for 8 innings or 7 innings. And in fact, they didn't end up winning the game. So, I think there's benefits to losing that game yesterday. I think that everybody can have their positive takeaways and their negative takeaways. But the biggest takeaway of all is they are frustrated and ready to go back to work for 3 against the Athletics. So, yeah, you're right. There are games like this where you need to experience that sting. They've gotten away with a few of them. After the game, my first thought was, well, this is the baseball gods paying us back for that Pittsburgh game where Nathan Church robbed Nick Gonzalez. That's what it felt like. And it came down to the final pitch of the game, but that's sometimes how the cookie crumbles. That's baseball, and the Cardinals are going to look to go to work on Tuesday and find a way to get a win against the Athletics.
I heard screeching tires in the background. Is everything okay?
Oh, I'm safe. I'm not a bad driver.
Okay.
So I was in an Uber, and I think it's about 115 degrees here in Sacramento. At least it feels that way after being in sunny and 72. So somebody brakes pretty hard.
Were you at all worried about talking on your phone in the Uber and getting less than a 5-star review?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I actually had to brush up on my Mandarin Chinese that I took in middle school because that was the first language of the driver. So we were trying to communicate. A lot of Xiexinese and Fei Chung Haos were thrown out there. So he was really happy to see somebody had at least a semblance of an understanding of the language, but I think we'll be all good on that front.
Is the Carey clan getting together for a good dinner tonight?
Among others, that's for sure. So far, the RSVP list is Chris, my mom, me, Dad, Brad, Claves, Ricky, potentially Danny, and maybe Brian Shapiro and Chris Tuna. How could you not do dinner with Chris Tuna?
That's a good group right there. That's a really good group.
Great group.
Maybe a picture will pop up on social media at some point of that whole group together.
Oh, it might. It might probably Facebook, considering the age of the individuals on average. So
fair.
Well, maybe not X, but Facebook probably is the most likely.
All right, good deal. Well, Stefan, enjoy these next 3 days. I'm happy for you that you get to experience this with your entire family, and we'll pop over and listen to that A's TV broadcast a little bit as well to hear your voice. But thank you so much for the time. Enjoy the next few days, and we'll see you when the team gets back in town.
Matt, really appreciate you, man, and thanks to all the Cardinals fans for understanding. It's just an opportunity you can't say no to. So I'm looking forward to this week, and can't wait to see you back in between the arches soon.
Awesome. Perfect. That is Stephen Carey joining us here on the program. What a cool thing for him. He's going to be calling a big league game with his brother. And again, I mentioned this. He and his brother were the broadcast crew for AA Amarillo. And that's, the fact that they've done so many games together already, and now they get to do it at the big league level. And he mentioned might be the first time brothers have ever done a major league TV play-by-play broadcast together. Certainly first time twin brothers have done that. It's a really cool family thing, and certainly wanted to mention that. I wasn't totally sure that it was not public knowledge when I asked that question, so I'm glad that he did get the go-ahead to mention it before, because then he would have had to dance around my question, and I would have felt terrible. But we're all good now. We will take a break. When we return, we got a little bit of time here in the final half hour of this first hour. We got a few guests coming up in the second hour, but we'll talk Cardinals baseball. Continue to do that over the next 30 minutes. If you want to chime in on anything, we'll open up the phone lines 314-436-7900. 314-436-7900. That's how you call. That's how you text. You can tweet at me if you'd like as well, at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air. We'll take a break and have more coming up in just a moment or so. You're locked in. This is a Graybar Sports Open Line here on KMOX.
You know, here in St. Louis, word of mouth still matters, and I'm pretty careful about who I recommend, especially when it comes to something as personal as estate planning. I'm Tom Ackerman. My family has been working with the Lederman Law Firm for over 20 years now, and the reason is simple. They don't just create documents and send you on your way. They help make sure your plan works. Because let's be honest, life changes. Family needs and circumstances change. Laws change. But most estate plans don't change over time as needs, circumstances, and laws change. They're outdated, sitting in a drawer. People assume they're fine, and their plan will work when they need it to work. At the Lederman Law Firm, it's not a one-time transaction. It's an ongoing process. They build a plan to protect your family and your assets, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it up to date as both your life and assets change. Check out the Lederman Law Firm at LedermanLaw.com or give them a call at 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Hey, Missouri, it's game time. Start betting like a pro with the world's largest sportsbook at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I'm a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be, with high limits, player-friendly pricing, exceptional customer service, and more. Download your new bookie at circusports.com. The action starts now, Missouri. Experience the difference with Circus Sports. Bet like a pro.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You know, most sellers put their home on the market and they just wait to see what happens. Well, I'm Kevin Wheeler, and I'm here with Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And Gloria, is there a better way to sell?
There is. Instead of listing your home the traditional way and hoping for the right buyer, I can get you up to 8 competitive cash offers right from the start. That means you're not guessing what your home might sell for. You're looking at the real offers and choosing the one that works the best for you. It also helps you to set the right price and create stronger demand if you decide to go to market. It gives you control, leverage, and a clear path forward before you accept just any offer. And remember, I'll guarantee to sell your home at 100% of the market value, or I'll pay you the difference.
Before you sell your home, see what your options are. Call the one that I trust. That's Gloria Liu, 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession.
Kicking back on your patio with a nice cold beverage, listening to the game, enjoying family and friends, a little barbecue, maybe the shade of the pergola. Who knows what your outdoor space looks like? Or maybe it doesn't look like much and you need some help. Call Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best. They're like your summer headquarters to make sure that your outdoor space is ready for all the celebrating or relaxing that you have planned. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best, for 58 years. A family-owned local company that does quality work, and that makes it a real value, because when Chesterfield Fence and Deck does your project, it is going to last for years to come. And they'll offer you 48 months interest-free financing if you mention me, Debbie Monterey, sent you. So you can visit them in person in the Chesterfield Valley or online right now at chesterfieldfence.com. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best.
Spring cleaning rule number 1, out with the old, in with the new. And frankly, your family's old internet connection is a dinosaur. Upgrade to the 1 gig modern family standard from i3 Broadband. It's 100% true in-home fiber with equal upload and download speeds, so your teenager's gaming won't crash your video call. Even better, we're currently offering our longest price guarantees ever on our gig speed internet services. Say goodbye to exploding promo prices and hello to budget certainty. Visit i3broadband.com/radio and start your spring off right.
This is Stories from the Pitch, brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need, and by Lowe's. Give your yard its own moment with new limited time deals from Lowe's.
He wasn't supposed to start. Salvatore Scalacci, Toto, a 25-year-old Sicilian who played his first season in Serie A. The coach picked Viale and Carnevale. Then came the opener against Austria. Scalacci off the bench, a header, a goal. Host Italy had a folk hero overnight. 6 matches, 6 goals. Those wide, startled eyes staring up at the night sky after every strike, as if asking whether this was real. Italy fell to Argentina on penalties in the semifinal in Naples on Maradona's home ground. Scalacci scored again in the third-place playoff. Golden boot, golden ball. He'd never score for Italy again. For one summer, a journeyman became a god.
Stay tuned to this Odyssey station for more Stories from the Pitch.
100 years. One legendary voice. Relive KMOX's century of service. Classic audio, photos, videos, and more at KMOX100.com.
Back at it on the Gray Bar Sports Open Line here on KMOX. We are taking you until 8 o'clock tonight when we get to... Do we have... Kyle, I should have asked this during commercial, but no, I'm just going to ask it while we're on the air. Is tonight a Gas House Gang replay night, or is tonight an America 250 night?
It is a Gas House Gang
night. Okay, Gas House Gang replay comes your way when I get done at 8 o'clock tonight after the 8 o'clock news here on KMOX. Again, Cardinals A's opening up a 3-game series against each other coming up tomorrow. And, we'll have them for you. 8:40 first pitch for the next 2 nights, 2:05 on Thursday afternoon. And our coverage the next 2 nights will begin at 7:45. So we'll get about hour, 40 minutes or so of Sports Open Line, and then we'll jump into Cardinals coverage after that. If you want to chime in, I'd be curious what people are thinking coming off a split of a 4-game series against San Diego. Really easy to feel like it should have been 3 out of 4. At the same time, you go on the road against a good team and you split a 4-gamer. It's hard to be upset about that. It really is. I was a little surprised. And I know they talked about this today on Gas House Gang a bit, and it blew up a little bit on the on social media. There was a lot of talk about Jordan Walker and the catch and throw that he made on the for the what was the final play of yesterday's game on the sacrifice fly. And there were some fans out there that were really complaining about the fact that he didn't take a step or two back and catch it on the run and put his body and momentum into the throw to give him a better shot at being able to make the throw. I understand the complaint. I think if you are complaining about that, you're not coming from a crazy place or anything like that. I'm very understanding of where you're coming from. And I'll be honest with you, as I'm watching it in real time, that thought did go through my head. As it happened, it was as he was standing there, the thought went through my mind of, he's not going through a running catch. I have a few reactions to that. First off, I'm really going to have a hard time being critical of Jordan Walker over much of anything this year based off the way he has gotten the season started. He is still young in his outfield career, and he's got an absolute hose for an arm. I'm not convinced, and I know the play was relatively close, but I'm still not convinced that he would have thrown him out with that. Somewhere, Kyle and I were talking about this, and Kyle and I disagree on one thing. I feel like if you, especially for a guy like Jordan Walker, who's still fairly early on in his time as an outfielder, and this is really the first year he has consistently played a plus outfield, I would just be a little bit worried that if he does go into the running catch, and that's not something that he does a lot of, that could actually impact the throw in a negative way where the throw could have been a little bit offline. I told that theory to Kyle, and Kyle told me I was an idiot. Not really. But Kyle, you did disagree with me on that one.
I disagree just because I think that when you're running to that ball, it's a matter of the route to it rather than setting yourself up for the throw. It's going around the backside of the baseball, you could say, and then building your momentum to the plate. So I think that's probably the strongest way that you can, possibly get that out at home plate, and that's going to create the strongest throw. But again, Jordan Walker has an absolute cannon. It's just about making the catch and letting it loose, and that's what he did.
And we don't know how comfortable he is with that play either. We don't know if that's something that how much he's actually worked on the running and throwing. We haven't seen him do much of that.
I would say that's a problem then. That's a pretty basic thing for an outfielder to do. If you're not able to get your own momentum behind throws, I would say that's a bit of an issue with whether you have the arm or you don't.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with anything you say. I've thought a little bit more has been made up of it than is needed.
I agree.
And maybe we're not getting much comments on this right now. I actually thought when I brought this up, I'd get some reaction to it, and there hasn't been a lot of reaction to it at this point in time. So maybe folks are not quite as worried about it as some of the social media reaction to it was. In a perfect world, would have he taken the made the throw on the run, being able to set himself up a few steps back and start that momentum into the catch, because it did feel like he had time to do that. It felt like he was standing there, I should say, for a good amount of time before the ball did come into his glove. I think Stephen Carey made a really good point in our last segment as well. Outside of the home run in the fourth inning, the Cardinals really didn't play an especially good game yesterday. They had 3 total hits. They didn't add on after scoring the runs. When they had opportunities with runners in scoring position, they didn't do a whole lot with them. They went 1 for 5. And unfortunately, what gets lost in all of it is Kyle Leahy had a pretty good pitching performance. And some people will take issue with the number of pitches thrown through 5 innings where he wasn't able to come back out for a 6th. But if I were to tell you that before this season got started, that there's going to be a day where Kyle Leahy throws 5 shutout innings, and people were upset that he didn't come out for a 6th inning, I think most people would actually would be surprised at that. Like, if we have raised the standard for Kyle Leahy in a fairly short amount of time. If you view him as your number 5 starter, and in many ways the Cardinals have a number of number 5 starters, but if you view him in that way, going out and giving you 5 shutout innings and then handing things over to the bullpen, especially when you've been getting a bunch more 6-inning starters 6-inning starts lately, I have a hard time getting too upset about that either. Message comes in from Alan, says, Jordan has been so much improved in the outfield. He has an amazing arm. I believe in him. He's got one of the best arms in all of baseball. I mean, he made that close basically from a standing throw. On another topic, Wesley sends in a message, asks if there's any update on Lars Nootbaar. So Chaim Bloom actually went on Sports on a Sunday Morning yesterday. We're going to play. I'll get to an answer, but first I've got to do the shameless plug for what's coming up later on in the show. Chaim Bloom was on Sports on a Sunday Morning with Tom Ackerman yesterday, as he always is. You should always be tuned in to Sports on a Sunday Morning with Tom. It's great. And Tom did ask him about Nootbaar. We're going to play back some of what Chaim said, probably about 7:35, 7:40 tonight, so you can hear it from Chaim's voice himself. But essentially, he said that right now, when they're talking about Nootbaar's return, they're talking about it in terms of weeks, not months. So I think at this point, if it's got to be early June that he returns, because you still have to go through the process of the 20 days playing rehab assignment games. And I think he's going to play all 20. They're going to try to do their best to recreate a spring training ramp up during that period. But sidebar, because I'm always thinking about rules that can be added to baseball. Would it make sense? And this won't get brought up at the collective bargaining agreement. I understand the 20-day limit. So position players get 20 days, pitchers get 30 days on the rehab assignments. Would it be worth, if a player has not made their season debut for the year, to give extended time on the rehab, because you are trying to recreate spring training? Where if a guy gets injured in the middle of the season and then they've got to rehab their way back in, generally speaking, it should not take as long because they've already gone through spring training, done all that. But for somebody like Lars Nootbaar, maybe it's for guys who start the season on the 60-day injured list. Maybe that would be the requirement. Would it make sense for that rehab assignment to be a little bit longer? Because if you are trying to recreate spring training, and some of that recreation of spring training can happen before he gets into rehab assignment games, the stuff that's going on in Florida, backfield work in the cage. I'm not totally sure if they can, complex league stuff is going on. I'm not sure if he can pop in and do some stuff over there or not. But the short answer to the question is he's getting close. He's getting close. He's going to be back before we know it. And I think it's going to be good for the club. It's going to create a little bit of a log jam. I always say things tend to work themselves out, right? So every once in a while, you do have a situation where a player's coming off the injured list and there's just not a clear corresponding roster move to go along with it. More often than not, that's not the case. And with all due respect to all parties involved in this, if he were to be activated tomorrow, there's guys that they wanted to send Thomas Saggese down for him to get some everyday work at AAA, and then the Ramon Arias injury happened, and they felt like having Saggese at the big league level was something that covered them the most. He yesterday went 0 for 2. He's hitting 153. I'm a big Saggese guy. I'm a big believer in Thomas Saggese. The version of Thomas Saggese we are seeing right now, that's not who he is. And I mean, the last time he collected a hit was on April 11th against Boston. That has been a while. That was his last hit. And he was coming around at that point. He came out of that game against Boston with a 270 average and a 684 OPS. Since then, since his last hit on April 11th, his batting average has dropped 120 points from 273 to 153, and his OPS has dropped from 684 to 392. This is not Thomas Saggese we're seeing right now, so I would be in favor of him going and spending some time at AAA, because you gotta find him, and you're not finding him right now at the big leagues. You are simply not finding him at the big leagues. His strikeout percentage is high, 20 strikeouts and 59 at bats. They got to find him, and I don't. So there are guys. I mean, nobody's gonna hang their hat on Cesar Prieto needing a spot on the major league roster. That's so. I don't think the roster stuff is going to be tough when he gets back. There might be some 40-man issues to work through at that point because he's on the 60-day, so they'll have to make a move there. But then the playing time, that's where it's going to be somewhat interesting. We'll take one more break here in hour number 1. We'll come back. We'll do a little bit more Cardinals. We've got our Battlehawks post-game conversation today as well. We'll do that coming up after the 7 o'clock news. Don't go anywhere. You're locked in. It's Graybar Sports Overline on KMOX.
Summer is on the way, or should I say the heat in St. Louis, it's on its way. Be here before we even know it. If you haven't had your air conditioners checked and set up and ready to go for this cooling season, or if you were told you might need a new one, or you just think this is the time of the year, this year is the time to just go ahead and replace it. Prices are down. 0% financing is available. It's still the best time to call me. Don't put it off. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It is 314-293-2600. Again, that's 314-293-2600 in Missouri and Illinois, or on the internet, bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Each year in St. Louis, 10 women are recognized for volunteer leadership that changes lives. They support families, strengthen communities, and create opportunities where they're needed most. Join us Tuesday, May 19th at the Ritz-Carlton for the 2026 Women of Achievement Awards Luncheon. Celebrate their impact and be part of a tradition more than 70 years strong. Reservations available at WOASTL.org. For more information, go to KMOX.com/events. If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
In 1991, John and Cindy Morelli started Morelli Tuck Pointing. As of today, they've won just about every award possible for the tuck pointing business. The BBB Torch Award, the Next Door Neighborhood Fave Award, and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. For homeowners, this is a great time to get a free inspection of your basement, your brick or stone fireplace, your garage interior, your porch, and maybe even your walkway. Indoor tuck pointing can be started now. Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. My wife Beth and I have used Morelli Tuck Pointing to work on 2 of our homes now over the last 25 years. We have found the Morelli bids to be fair, their crews are very polite, and they clean up after themselves. But most importantly, their work is beautiful. Family owned and operated since 1991. 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
With summer here and the kids home full time, your garage door will see a lot more use. Do it a favor with annual maintenance from Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. The 26-point tune-up is one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. Get them all done. Trusted in St. Louis for 100 years. Always look for the genuine, the original red ribbon of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Since 1926, they're never going to steer you wrong. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
I met my wife in law school at the University of Florida. She was from upstate New York and I was from Kentucky. We met at a daily mass at St. Augustine's. She was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen in my life. After communion, I followed her out of the church and got her phone number. The rest is history. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Little did we know that one day we would have 4 children and the largest injury firm in the world. All 4 work in the business. It's a family business. Did I ever see this coming? Hell no. We just worked very hard and treated our clients like we would want to be treated, like family. It's a full-service injury firm, auto accidents, medical malpractice, workers' compensation, Social Security, and insurance disputes. We're open 24/7, 365 days a year. Visit forthepeople.com and we can get to work on your case. No recovery, no fee. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports Open Line. Once again, Matt Pauley on KMOX.
A Cardinals off day tonight. They get back at it tomorrow when they are going to open up a series against the A's. The A's continuing to play in the AAA ballpark in Sacramento. Andre Pallante is going to pitch tomorrow. I'll be really curious to see what it looks like for Pallante because he was so angry at himself after the last game. That was the game against Milwaukee, the second of the 2 games, where he did not do what he wanted to do in the first inning. Talked a lot about the fact that he kind of moved away from the game plan that they had set, and it was something that frustrated him. So what does it look like in that next game for him? So I'll be curious to see that for sure. But looking forward to the series and what they can. If they're done with the 17-17, it ends up not being 17-17 because there was a rain out in there. But they're done with that period. We were lifting that time up as like the, hey, we're going to learn so much more about this team. This is going to be the make or break time early on in the season. And they came out of it just fine. And now what can they do after splitting a 4-game series? Can they go take 2 or 3 from the A's? And can they turn this into a really, really good road trip? Anytime you have a winning road trip, that's a really good road trip. And the A's are not a bad team. The A's are an above 500 team. They're 21-19. They've got some good wins this year as well. So it's going to be an entertaining next few days for sure. Andre Pallante going tomorrow. We will also see Matthew Liberatore and Michael McGreevy pitching in this series as well. That is it for hour number 1. When we return, Battlehawks wide receiver Stephen McBride is going to join us. Also in the 7 o'clock hour, Brian Walton from thecardinalnation.com. We'll hear a little bit from Hein Bloom. It's all coming up here on KMOX.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Stan Musial, he missed a season in his prime to serve his country in the Navy.
Honor a legend on Saturday, May 16th when the Cardinals face the Kansas City Royals. Fans can secure a Stan Musial military bobblehead presented by Coca-Cola and Deerbirds. This patriotic collectible celebrates Stan's Hall of Fame career and his service to our country. A true symbol of character on and off the field. A tribute worth displaying and remembering. Don't miss it. Get tickets and details at cardinals.com/promotions.
Paging all nurses and healthcare heroes. This night is for you. Join the Cardinals for Nurses Appreciation on Wednesday, May 20th and Thursday, May 21st at Busch Stadium. With a special theme ticket, you'll receive a healthcare-inspired Cardinals sweatshirt plus a coupon for a complimentary drink. It's our way of saying thank you for all that you do in our community. Don't miss the special theme at the ballpark. Details and tickets at cardinals.com/theme.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. The Supreme Court creates a chance for Republicans to get an additional House seat during the midterms. The High Court has overturned an order to use two largely black districts and has directed a lower court to reconsider the case. Loyola Law School professor Lori Levinson.
Alabama drew maps that got rid of at least one of the two largely black congressional districts before this term's midterm elections. The Supreme Court has fast-tracked its decision to send this back to Alabama. And in essence, it means that Alabama will only have, at most, one black majority district going into the midterm elections.
Police in Cambridge, Massachusetts responded to reports of a shooting after witnesses said a man armed with a long gun opened fire on passing cars this afternoon. Brandon Mansoff was traveling on Memorial Drive when a bullet struck his vehicle.
I got out and somebody came walking up and they were like, "Oh, your car got hit." And so I looked and bullet hit my radiator, all of my coolant, all over the road.
A state police trooper and a civilian shot the gunman. Two men in separate cars were shot and have life-threatening injuries. Authorities say there is no danger to the public. Our Jim Krasula has the latest on trouble in South Florida.
Firefighters are struggling to control two large wildfires burning in the Everglades in South Florida. The fires are only about 30% contained. John is among many being kept from their property.
A little scary, you know what I mean? There's a lot of action going on out here. I couldn't get a hold of my wife for a little bit.
No serious injuries or property damage have been reported. Jim Krasula, CBS News.
President Trump may temporarily suspend a gas tax. CBS's Stacey Lynn. in.
As gas prices nationwide top $4.50 a gallon, the president told CBS News he'd pause the 18-cent federal tax for a period of time. He said it would be restored when prices come down. The tax funds highway and transit projects, and suspending it would require congressional approval.
Days ahead of President Trump's visit to Beijing, the United States imposes sanctions on 12 Iran-linked individuals and entities that it says facilitated the sale and shipment of Iranian oil to China. 18 Americans evacuated from a cruise ship hit with an outbreak of hantavirus are back in the U.S. for observation. Most of them were taken to a medical center in Omaha, Nebraska. CBS's Ian Lee is there.
16 are being closely monitored, 1 in the biocontainment unit after testing positive, and 15 in the national quarantine unit. 2 others have been sent to quarantine at Emory University Hospital in Atlanta.
Federal health officials say they have the situation under control. This is CBS News.
Every Sunday, moderator Margaret Brennan goes face-to-face with top leaders to make you better informed. Face the Nation, Sunday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
We've got a sunny sky. Right now it's 73 degrees downtown at the Arch at 7:03. Coming up this hour, the Creve Coeur City Council meets on a redevelopment that has drawn pushback from residents.
The proposal would take a mostly abandoned commercial lot located between Gracer Road and Mary Meadows Lane on Olive Boulevard and turn it into a mixed-use development with 147 luxury apartments and spaces for retail and restaurants. However, neighbors are concerned about the size of the development and are urging the Creve Coeur City Council to not approve the rezoning for it or the tax abatements the developers are asking for. I spoke with Mary Rothstein, who is concerned that this proposal doesn't meet Creve Coeur's comprehensive plan.
It says that this should be low to medium density, not more than 20 units per acre. This is going to be 34 units per acre.
Rothstein is also concerned that the building's proposed 4-story tall structure could be an invasion of privacy for the residential homes located directly behind the property. In Creve Coeur, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Again, that meeting begins this hour in Creve Coeur. The state-controlled St. Louis City Police Board is escalating the funding fight with the city by going to court itself. The Board of Police Commissioners voted in closed session today to file legal action asking a judge to definitively rule on how Missouri law defines the city's general revenue, which determines how much the city has to spend on police. For instance, does that include the Rams settlement money? What about the water department? It's the latest legal volley in a fight that has already produced lawsuits from both sides over the state's takeover of the department and the city's funding obligations under the state law. A judge has stopped the Attorney General in her fight against Kratom. Jackson County Judge Charles McKenzie has denied Attorney General Catherine Hanaway's attempt to immediately pull the plug on several companies that sell what she calls hazardous opioids banned by state and federal law.
This is gas station heroin. It's a synthetic opioid. It's being sold, right around the corner from you. It's highly addictive. It's highly intoxicating. And the FDA says it's 3 times more powerful than morphine.
The judge ruled there are competing affidavits from experts on both sides and refused to issue a temporary restraining order, according to the Business Journal. The judge wants another hearing and to see more evidence. Missouri real estate attorneys say they're seeing an uptick in business this spring over last year.
We're on the right track.
Missouri Realtors President Brian Jared.
We're starting to move away. Rates are coming down a little bit. They went back up a little bit here and there, but they overall things been very steady, so we're seeing a good increase.
Jared said home sales across the state are up about 10% over a year ago. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Forecast overnight tonight, a clear sky, low 52 degrees. For tomorrow, sun's out, high 83. Some showers tomorrow night, low 59. Sun's back Wednesday, 75. Right now, we've got some sun. It's 72 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports Open Line. Once again, Matt Pauley on KMOX.
We are back at it as we get into the 7 o'clock hour. The Battlehawks had a great win on Friday night. Really a cool night at the Dome. Greatest Show on Turf fellows were being honored. Dick Vermeil was in the house, in addition to a number of the players. That is their third straight win. They've got some really good wins in there. They handed Orlando their first loss of the season, came back with a Thursday night win. That third, following up with a Thursday night game, that can always be a little bit tough. And then this past Friday against Columbus, winning 31-20, getting out to an early lead and never looking back. They are going to be back at home this Saturday as they match up against Houston. That's going to be a 2 o'clock kick over at the Dome. Tickets available right now at theufl.com. And we are happy to welcome on to the program. He is a wide receiver for the Battlehawks. He is Stephen McBride. Stephen, thanks for taking some time with us today. How are you?
What's up, man? All is well. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How much fun was that win this past weekend and just being back at the Dome and everything that was going on with the Greatest Show on Turf guys there?
Oh, yeah, man. We miss being back in that Dome, man. The Dome is where it's at, man. Fans and, create a big crowd and we create a fun show, So it was good being back in the Dome, being away for a couple of weeks. And then we got another one coming up this week, so it should be fun. Another fun show.
Can you talk about the impact of the fans? Because you go to these other cities, and they're trying, and the league is trying to grow these other markets and the fan bases. They're just they're a step or two behind St. Louis. Can you put into words the difference in playing in St. Louis and the home field advantage you guys get to maybe the lack of home field advantage that some of these other teams get?
Oh, man, it's a big difference, man, knowing that we have that crowd behind us, knowing we have diehard fans, behind us, helping us. They make a big impact, on the opponent's offense, and they give us the encouragement to be better on the field, and that's what we're gonna do every time. So we're grateful to always have our fans.
You're a really interesting story of how you ended up here, because you went to a UFL showcase event to just for the league to get a look at you. Can you talk me through that process, where you went and how that all ended up and you eventually getting a job?
Oh, man, yeah, it's actually wild, man. So, it's actually been, 3 years since I played, even since college, since I played football, especially like 11 on 11. Last year I did play arena ball, for the Mass Pirates for a couple of games at the end of the season. And, yes, I did I took 2 trips I took one to Dallas and I also took one to Houston to showcase my talents. I feel like the first one I did, it wasn't really good in Dallas. And I did a little better in Houston. But other than that, they took a chance on me, and I feel like it didn't come from, just me showcasing. I did have film from college where, I ran the same offense that we run now for the Battlehawks, and I'm kind of familiar with the offense. So it was like reading a book that I already read, So, they took a chance on me, talking to my coaches and everything from college, and, it was a good fit for me. So, got a call, random call, man, and, told me to come up here. And, I wasn't, even though I wasn't, drafted or anything like that into the draft, anything, I was actually one of the top reserve guys. So I got a call to replace one of the guys in training camp who wasn't available at the time. And, I put on as much as I can, put in the work as much as I can, making the team and, becoming a big impact in this offense. So it's a lot of twists and turns that I took, just to get here. But I'm very grateful.
What a great story, and it's a lesson in just, continuing to persevere, because you mentioned the fact that you had not really been playing competitively much over the last few years. You went the indoor football route for a little bit of time, and you just keep sticking with it, and you get a job, and you get a really good situation. Like, I think a lot of people listening can learn a little bit from your story.
Yeah, most definitely, man, yeah. So like I said, I did, it's been three full years since, I actually played, in a real football game. Definitely had a couple of jobs, knowing that I felt like, having a job wasn't for me. I always wanted to chase my dreams. I never gave up chasing my dreams. Always had people supporting me. there was times where I would get, starting to give up, but other than that, I still have those people who supported me, who still believed in me, and I believed in myself, and I kept going, I kept pushing. So, like I said, man, grateful to be here, grateful to make an impact on this team, man. Love the city of St. Louis, and we're going to continue to, go for this thing, man.
One of the things I really appreciate about you, and I don't know any of the details around it, but I'm a proud graduate of Kansas State University, and I know that you transferred out of Kansas to go to Hawaii. To me, that's one of the biggest upgrades anybody could ever make.
Yeah, man, going from the Big 12, into the Mountain West, there's a big difference. I felt like at Kansas, me being there for the, 2.5 years I was there, it was actually a good experience, but, it wasn't a great fit for me, in the offense. Feel like I could have opened up more, so that's why I entered the transfer portal. Feel like I could have been a little better and, be on something where, I can be explosive. And, yeah, I definitely took that chance to, take a trip to Hawaii, fall in love with it, fall in love with the island, fall in love with the people there. They all took me in as family. And, it was a big difference in, being on that field. And, it's a lot of things that Hawaii taught me. And, just being able to perform how I performed there, it was able to get me someplace. So, like I said, I'm very grateful for everything, man.
You guys are going to play back-to-back games against Houston, and maybe this would be a better question to ask after the first game, but are there challenges? Do you get the sense that maybe as you guys start to put in the game plan for the week that maybe the coaches almost have to hold something back in this first game to have something fresh for that second game? You'll play at home this Saturday, and then you'll play at Houston the following Sunday.
I feel like we shouldn't hold anything back, man. I feel like we should be all for a go, getting to the end of this season, going into playoffs and everything, making it to the playoffs and everything, just keep full go, man. Keep being as a team, keep coming together as a team, listen to our coaches, taking our training, trusting our training, executing it on the field and going through film and everything like that. Staying behind, staying behind with Luis and the other quarterbacks and, making the extra adjustments and everything. So, we've been on the road, and we continue to be on that road the same way we've been on that road.
Stephen McBride's caught 3 touchdown passes this year. Battlehawks are back at it this Saturday against Houston. If you haven't gone out to support the team yet, would encourage you to do so. Tickets available at the Battlehawks website. Go to theufl.com, and you can just see where tickets are available. It's going to be a 2 o'clock kick at the Dome on Saturday against Houston. Again, theufl.com. Stephen, really good to talk to you, to get to know you a little bit. Best of luck the rest of the way, and thank you so much for sharing your story with us. It's a very cool one.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Let's go Battlehawks.
All right, very good. That's Stephen McBride joining us here on the program. Appreciate him being with us for just a few minutes. That's really more remarkable that he wrapped up his college career, I guess after the 2023 season it was, and no, after the 2024 season, excuse me. And then he has just been trying to find an opportunity in football, doing a little bit when it comes to indoor football. Had some kind of regular jobs that he told us about, but kept going, and then went to a couple showcase events where some UFL scouts put their eyes on him, and enough for him to get an opportunity. And now he's part of a Battlehawks team that's playing some really, really good football right now. Again, they have won 3 straight games, and all 3 of the wins are very impressive for various reasons. So great to see. Again, they match up against Houston. 2 o'clock kick this Saturday over at the Dome. TheUFL.com is where you buy tickets. We're going to take a break, come back, and we're going to talk with Brian Walton. A few things that we want to get into, but we're going to lead with Renell Rodriguez, who gets the call up to AA. That's the breaking news today, organizationally wide for the Cardinals. We'll get Brian's thoughts on that. That's coming up in just a moment. You're locked into a Gray Bar Sports Open Line right here on KMOX.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
No pain, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
Inflation is squeezing budgets, and global events can shake markets overnight. If you're close to retirement, you don't get unlimited do-overs. So this is not the time for I hope it works out. That's why Steve All and the team at the All Financial Group are hosting an upcoming educational seminar called Retirement Simplified. You'll learn how rising costs could drain your spending power, how political and economic headlines can impact your returns, dealing with issues like taxes, outliving your money, and long-term care. Retirement Simplified, May 19th and 21st. It's complimentary, but you must qualify to attend. 636-230-8824 or at yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, or registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions. The All Financial Group is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the U.S. government or any other government agency.
At Seidenstricker Nobe Partners, we know the right equipment can make all the difference. Right now, you can slide into a deal with 0% financing for 84 months on all John Deere 1 through 5E series compact tractors. Whether you're managing acreage, maintaining property, or taking on bigger projects, these tractors are built to perform. Don't strike out on this limited time offer. Come see us or visit snpartners.com.
Offer valid through 6/30/2026. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Working full-time but still falling behind? Learn how real estate education can help you build income and get ahead. On your terms, text RADIO to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Renewal by Andersen is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Schedule your free inspection today. Call 877-WINDOWS. That's 877-WINDOWS. Or head to rbastl.com.
Proudly serving St. Louis for over 100 years. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Back out here on KMOX, it is a Gray Bar Sports Open Line. We're taking until 8 o'clock this evening. Cardinals off today. They open up a series against the A's in Sacramento coming up tomorrow night. Very happy to welcome back onto the program. He is our friend Brian Walton. He is the owner at thecardinalnation.com. You want information about Cardinals prospects, Cardinals minor leagues, you are not going to get better content than what Brian and his team provide for you at thecardinalnation.com. You follow him on Twitter at @B_Walton. Brian, thanks for the time as always. How are you?
It's great to be on, and it's a good time for Cardinals fans, too. The Major League team's playing well, and there's a lot of promising prospects doing well in the minor leagues.
Yeah, we had you scheduled a few days ago, and we had to move it, and it ends up working out really well because our leadoff question is a question we would not have been able to ask had we talked to you a couple days ago, and that's the fact that Raniel Rodriguez is getting the call up to Double-A as a 19-year-old. What is your overwhelming takeaway on this so exciting young player who's now going to really get challenged at the next level?
Yeah, Raniel Rodriguez, really had a breakout year last year. The Cardinals brought him up to Peoria at the end of last season just for a cup of coffee. And in his first 128 plate appearances, he had a line 311, 430, 519. Just tremendous, high batting average, high OPS. Very consistent, hit in 21 of 28 games, very low strikeout rate, 18.8%, walk rate 14%. And so we're talking about a guy who really was exceptional in the Midwest League, the High A Midwest League, at the age, as you said, of 19. And he was the youngest player in the organization to open at High A. And now at Double-A, he'll be the second youngest player across all Double-A, all 30 organizations. So not only is Raniel Rodriguez the number one prospect in the Cardinals organization now that J.J. Weatherhold has graduated, at least that's what we say at the Cardinal Nation, but he's also in the top 30 or 35 on all the national rankings. So everybody's discovered who Raniel Rodriguez is, and the eyes are upon him. And he's moving to a league, the Texas League, that's traditionally very good for hitters. So, while there might be a drop-off as he gets familiar with the better pitching, I would expect Rodriguez is going to continue to hit well with Springfield in the 2/3 or so of the season that's left.
He has to fulfill his end of the bargain on this, but could you say that this maybe ups the timeline a little bit on his big league arrival, that if it really goes well for him, say the rest of the year at Double-A, it's not out of the realm of possibility that we could see him in the big leagues at some point in 2027?
I think that's very realistic, man. I think that, if he continues on this rate, he'll show that he can handle Double-A, and we'll see what the Cardinals do. They haven't been as aggressive at Double-A to Triple-A promotions in at least the first year of the new player development organization. But if he, hits above his league, there's a possibility that he could even, finish this year with Memphis. And again, I've got the cart way ahead of the horse there, but anytime you're at AAA, then you're a heartbeat away from the majors, and it's going to maybe not only accelerate Raniel Rodriguez's timeline, but also accelerate the Cardinals having to make some difficult decisions on the wealth of catchers that they have on the roster.
Yeah, and in a way, they're kind of wasting time at the moment just in terms of evaluating catchers at the big league level, because your three guys in Crooks, Bernal, and Rodriguez, none of them are in the big leagues right now. So they're all very, all three of those guys are within one level of each other. It's going to be really interesting to watch how this plays out over the next year plus.
Yeah, and Jimmy Crooks has been doing a really fine job. It could have been easy for him to be depressed that he didn't make the Major League Club, and he went out in the month of April and hit 18 home runs, 951 OPS. Exceptional job. Now the only challenge with Jimmy Crooks is his strikeouts were up in the low 30s, and he's working on bringing them down. That's going to be probably the last box that he has to check. But we've seen now that. The Cardinals catching situation, while it's very stable, that important step that Ivan Herrera has showed that he can catch regularly and do a good job at that, may give them some more confidence that they have to make some decisions about Pajes and Pozo, because Leonardo Bernal, as you hinted at, is also at Memphis. He's been playing some first base as well as catching, but he's also a very, very good prospect. And now you've got three young guys that are in the top two levels of the minor league system and three guys that seem to be entrenched at the major league level. Something's going to have to give.
The corresponding move on Rodriguez getting the opportunity to go to High A is Jack Gervich. I know you guys have him ranked as a top 25 player in your rankings, and he's put up some really nice numbers at Palm Beach. This is going to be a good challenge for him going up to the next level as well.
Yeah, Jack Gervich, 22 years old, a draft pick last year, got off to a not so great start with Palm Beach, but the first partial year, you can't really look at it because they played a long college season. Then they typically had some time off. But in the first month, Jack Gervich had 20 RBI in 20 games. I mean, you can't quibble with that. 941 OPS, real good walk rate. A little high on the strikeouts. That's the only thing against him. But also a versatile guy, can play first base very well, can also play third base. And so it's nice that Jack Gurovich, he's earned that promotion to high A Peoria, and he'll probably do a fine job for the Chiefs as well.
There's been a few people that have been a little bit worried about Liam Doyle this year just because his numbers have not been especially good. And now over the last week or so, we've started to learn that they're really working on adding to his repertoire and getting some more pitches in there, which would make me think that they're just really trying to set him up to be as successful as possible as a starting pitcher. Can you speak to that, what they're doing with him right now at Springfield and the process he's going through, where maybe the numbers aren't going to be there, but it's going to help him be a better pitcher long term?
I think that Doyle has thrown a lot of pitches that haven't been close to the zone. When he zeroes in, of course, he's striking out batters at a very high, at a 10.7 per 9 rate, so that's very good. But he needs to, work on his command a little bit. But the Cardinals have apparently been working with him on his grip on a couple of his pitches. I know I've heard his changeup for sure, and they're doing a little bit of tinkering so that he can, continue to refine that command. But again, we're talking about a young man that's thrown 25 innings as a professional. So there's still work to be done. I think that folks need to understand that guys in their first year are going to be, figuring things out. And I'm not worried one bit about Liam Doyle. We have him ranked as the top pitcher in the system, number 2, right after Rodriguez in the overall rankings. And I think, when the season is done, Doyle's going to be just fine.
And his numbers, his last 2 starts are really good. 2.89 ERA in the month of May, 13 strikeouts, only 1 walk after having a 360 average against in April. It's 206 in May. So we're already seeing vast improvement just over his last couple starts.
Yeah, and that 1 walk is especially important because, if he's not putting guys on, now, he's had a little trouble once in a while. He'll get one down the middle and it'll get mashed. It's like, I think maybe 3 balls, something like that, have left the park. But again, that's something that he's going to learn as he goes. And, we're talking about a guy who's 22 years old and, is just fresh out of college. So Liam Doyle is a guy that I don't think there's any doubt that he will reach St. Louis. It's not going to be this year. Maybe late next year. We'll just have to see how he, continues to progress.
Last guy I want to ask you about is Tink Hence because he was taken out of competitive action. He was sent back to the complex. They're working on some things with him. There were moments in spring, Brian, you saw it, that he looked fantastic. There are moments in spring that he did not look fantastic, and then he pitches to an 8.64 ERA over 8 appearances with Memphis. We know the talent is there, but this has been a long time coming, and he's having a hard time putting it all together.
Yeah, it's hard to not feel bad for Tink Hence. He had a lot of problem with bases on balls, 9 walks in 8 1/3 innings at Memphis, and that got him in trouble. His hit rate wasn't bad. His strikeouts were okay, but his velocity was down. What Tink Hence was known for is high velocity, and I think what they were trying to do is get him to lower his velocity and maybe improve his control of his other pitches, and it just hasn't worked out to be. And folks know Tink Hence was drafted way back with Jordan Walker and Mason Wynn back in 2020 as a high schooler, just like they were. But he just hasn't been able to stay healthy, and they finally made the decision this year to put him in relief, but he just hasn't been able to find it yet. And it's got to be – I haven't talked to Tink Hence in spring training, but I imagine it has to be really discouraging where he is right now, and he's probably trying to evaluate how to get it all back together. Because he still has potential to be a very, very good major league reliever if he stays in that role. I know Tink wanted to start. Everybody wants to start. I mean, you talk to Trevor Rosenthal today, he'd say, hey, I wanted to start till the minute they made me a reliever, and then I still wanted to. So, you get that, but at some point in time, organizations have to make tough decisions. And this is the second year of Tink Hence's 3 allowable years to be optioned to the minor league. So by the end of 2027, Tink has to prove that he's ready for the majors, and that seems like a long way away right now on May 11th.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Before we get you out of here, can you give a plug for everything you got going? So much content. I mean, I'm just looking at your thing. 5 different items have already been posted today. Give a plug for what you guys have going on at thecardinalnation.com.
Well, we try to keep the pulse of what's going on across the minor league system, and we have reporters in all the affiliate cities. We keep track of all the transactions that occur, all the awards that occur, just everything that's going on. The Cardinals named their pitchers and players of the month today. We have an article about that. Kyle Reese wrote a great article focusing on the left-handers that are on our top 50. We redo our prospect rankings, top 50 every month. and we share the details with everyone, but those who want a little more can subscribe and get that further addition of detail. And we find that folks who do subscribe really think they get good value for their money.
Absolutely. TheCardinalNation.com is the website. Cardinals fans will learn a lot about what's going on throughout the organization. And there is some free content on there, but definitely the subscription stuff as well is really, really good. Brian, thank you so much for your time, and we'll catch up again down the line.
You got it, Matt.
Very good. That is Brian Walton joining us on the program. Again, the website is thecardinalnation.com. Chaim Bloom did talk about both Liam Doyle and Tien Kentz in his conversation with Tom Ackerman. You're going to hear a little bit of that coming up in just a moment or so as we continue on. Actually, a lot of things to get to with Chaim, and you're going to hear a number of things that he said on Sunday morning. That's up next here on KMOX.
Save big money on everything at Menards. From hitches to ratchet straps and everything in between. We've got all your hauling needs covered. Smart Straps heavy-duty ratchet straps feature double hook ends and are built with high braking strength to handle the strain of cargo transport. Save big money on ratchet straps. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey Missouri, it's game time. Start betting like a pro with the world's largest sportsbook at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I'm a lifelong sports bettor and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be, with high limits, player-friendly pricing, exceptional customer service, and more. Download your new bookie at circusports.com. The action starts now, Missouri. Experience the difference with Circus Sports. Bet like a pro.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You know, here in St. Louis, word of mouth still matters, and I'm pretty careful about who I recommend, especially when it comes to something as personal as estate planning. I'm Tom Ackerman. My family has been working with the Lederman Law Firm for over 20 years now, and the reason is simple. They don't just create documents and send you on your way. They help make sure your plan works. Because let's be honest, life changes. Family needs and circumstances change. Laws change. But most estate plans don't change over time as needs, circumstances, and laws change. They're outdated, sitting in a drawer. People assume they're fine, and their plan will work when they need it to work. At the Lederman Law Firm, it's not a one-time transaction. It's an ongoing process. They build a plan to protect your family and your assets, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it up to date as both your life and assets change. Check out the Lederman Law Firm at LedermanLaw.com or give them a call at 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
We're talking with Jason Doyle, Senior Manager of PBS, about Arch Air Medical, our local air ambulance provider. Tell us a little bit about Arch and why it's important to the community.
Arch provides advanced life-saving critical care when time, distance, or limited access to specialty hospitals make ground transport impractical. With 9 strategically placed bases throughout southern Illinois and eastern Missouri, our crews are certified to carry and administer blood on every transport, enabling life-saving transfusions to begin immediately. The Arch program completed over 2,800 transport, almost 8 per day.
Does Arch have medical clinicians on board, or is it just the pilot?
Each crew is made up of an experienced pilot and 2 highly trained clinicians. This leads us to better patient outcomes and safer operations.
If someone is transported by Arch, what should patients expect when it comes to billing?
You are only responsible for your in-network copay, coinsurance, or deductible. For more information about our services and to learn more about why a membership isn't needed, visit airmethods.com.
Bringing a data center online takes more than equipment. It takes precision. Graybar helps customers predict, stage, schedule, deliver, and verify every step of the build with critical products that are available now. From networking and wireless to critical power and testing tools, our teams help you reduce downtime risk and keep projects on track. Speed, scale, ready now. Yep. Graybar does that.
Neovitin began with one doctor's mission to help others feel their best.
After years of caring for patients, Dr. Ken Ribicki, a St. Louis physician, created NeoVitan, a line of multivitamins designed with quality, safety, and everyday wellness in mind. Each formula is made in the U.S. using the finest domestic and international ingredients to support real people living real lives. Discover the difference today with NeoVitan, available at Schnucks, Dierbergs, and neovitan.com. NeoVitan, trusted nutrition from St. Louis for St. Louis.
Get inside your Redbirds in the 2026 season every Tuesday at noon. It's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol on your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Back at it, it's a Great Bar Sports Open Line right here on KMOX. My name is Matt Pauley, taking you till about 8 o'clock this evening. No Cardinals baseball tonight. They are off today. This is the first of 2 straight Mondays where they had off. You know, for the first month of the season, it was Thursdays where they got off. Well, this month, they're off today, they're off next Monday, and then they're off on Thursday the 28th. So, 3 Thursdays from now is going to be their off day. So they've got a few more off days stacked in right now. They are enjoying an off day. I assume they've made the trip from San Diego to if they're generally the way you do it is if you're going to have an off day on the road, you go into wherever city you're going to be playing. With all due respect, I've been to Sacramento. I like Sacramento, but with all due respect to Sacramento, if there'd ever be a day to maybe take the off day in the previous city, it's when you're going from San Diego to Sacramento, but we'll see what happens. So, yeah, they'll play at that ballpark, the AAA ballpark in West Sacramento to open up a 3-game series tomorrow. 8:40 for first pitch tomorrow, Wednesday, 2:05 on Thursday. So tomorrow our coverage will begin around 24 hours from now, 7:45 for first pitch coming up tomorrow here on KMOX. All right, let's go back. We always try to do this if we have a Monday show. We try to go back and play some of what Cardinals President of Baseball Operations Chaim Bloom says to Tom Ackerman during his Sports on a Sunday Morning conversation. We do it this way as opposed to just replaying Tom's conversation because we still want to bring you something a little bit different in case you were tuned in on Sunday or maybe you went and found the interview on demand. So we'll comment a little bit on some of the things that Chaim said to Tom. But let's go through just a few of the things that were talked about on Sunday morning. We'll start with J.J. Weatherholt because Weatherholt provided one of the coolest moments of the season over the weekend when he got the Little League Grand Slam. It was a 2-run single out to right field where Fernando Tatis Jr. did not make the play. It got behind him. Tatis did not work all that hard to go get it, and Weatherholt was able to circle the bases with the bases loaded. So 4 runs ended up scoring, and Chaim certainly enjoyed that, although he said he checked with his kids on whether or not Little League Grand Slam is the correct terminology for it.
Yeah, I got 2 Little Leaguers in my house, so I had to ask them if they were offended that play was called a Little League Grand Slam, but they did enjoy it. Yeah, look, we talk a lot about just trying to dominate details, trying to win on those little margins, and sometimes those little margins are big things. You talk about those 2 plays, the cliche that it's a game of inches, it's true. Those things can swing games, and obviously, you're talking about some really, really good players on the other side that just happen not to make those plays, and sometimes that's the way it's going to go, but that's why we stress these things, and that's why you just want to be a little more fundamentally sound than the other side so you can have those things go your way.
Weatherholt is part of a top of the order. Right now, the top 4 hitters for the Cardinals, who are generally in the lineup, are doing a really good job. It's one of the best top 4s statistically in all of Major League Baseball. At some point, Lars Nootbaar is going to be back. He historically has been a leadoff guy. I don't think he's going to go back into the leadoff spot. That's J.J. Weatherholt's job for a while, I think. We'll see where Nootbaar gets slotted in. Maybe when he first gets back, he's going to be a little bit lower. But you would like to see production from him that would result in him moving up the order. All that being said, he should be back soon, within the month, less than a month, you would certainly think. And Chaim did give an update on Nootbaar and really maybe setting some expectations on what to see from him when he first returns.
Well, hopefully at this point we're talking weeks. We are still on track at some point during the coming week to see him start a rehab assignment. And, we're still working through some final steps there to get him into competition. So I don't have an exact date for you, but we're pretty close to being able to do that. And from there, he's going to need, that full rehab assignment, because you got to remember he did not have spring training. So we want to make sure we get enough under him so that when we do activate him, which we're hoping, hopefully that'll be sometime early next month, that he can just jump right into things. Obviously, we're going to have to take care of him and build him up, but that he can jump in, go back to back. And, you think about this guy in like an ABS world, right? And how good his eye is, and that should play to his strengths. And hopefully that will put him in better position as pitchers come to him and hopefully impact us right away. I mean, ideally, when we get him out there, he's ready to do that.
Now, mind you, the conversation between Tom and Chaim Bloom did take place before yesterday's game, where Riley O'Brien ended up blowing a save. But that being said, that doesn't really impact how we feel about O'Brien and the season that he is putting together, where he has been just really, really good. There's been a lot of bright spots for this Cardinals team. O'Brien is one of the brightest. He's got 11 saves this year, still a sub-3 ERA, 23 strikeouts over 19 innings. And Chaim, who's got a lot of history with O'Brien, said that it's really been a special season for him.
Everybody around here is just happy for him because there have been some ups and downs, obviously. First of all, throughout his whole career, he's a little bit of kind of a latecomer to this in a sense. Known him for a long time. Actually, was with the Rays when he was drafted, and he's had a lot of stops on his journey since then. And just to see him so comfortable now in who he is, so poised, and he's in a really good spot with his arsenal too. We know, that role it is a really unique and really interesting one, and he seems to be settling into it.
Something that created a lot of conversation was Andre Palante's last outing, because I think every time Palante goes out, there's still a contingent of people that maybe don't completely believe in him. Think back to what he did last year where he really struggled. And against the Brewers, his last time out, he did have a 4-run first inning. However, after that, he would go another 5 innings. So he ends up pitching 6 innings, giving up 5 runs. And that was important that he was able to get a little bit of length and not tax the bullpen so much. And Chaim commented a little bit on what that outing says about him and whether there's more good or more bad to take from it.
And I look at that as, you see the growth of a young player. Obviously, that first inning really got away from him, and that's a tough one to swallow after having 2 out, nobody on. But I do think, you look at where he might have been a couple years ago, and I'm not sure that after giving up those 4 runs in the first inning, the Andre Palante of old still would have found a way to go 6. And especially in a long stretch of games, that's really important. You take some pressure off your bullpen, and then they were sharp and ready for us the next couple of days. So that's the nature of the baseball season, because we play almost every day. So there's still positives you can take out of that. And it's exciting to see him able to do that, because you really need your starters to do that, not just when they have a lead, but also if you're in a deficit and you need them to take some pressure off the pen to save them for the next day.
And then a couple final notes from Chaim Bloom, Cardinals President of Baseball Operations. This audio from his Sunday morning conversation that he does with Tom Ackerman. Liam Doyle, the overall numbers for Doyle this year, not great. I know at times he has been impacted by some stadium conditions, I guess you can say. But also, there is some things going on right now with Doyle where they're actually trying to add to his repertoire, where they're adding a couple pitches in there, and they're doing this here in his first full pro season. They're doing it at a level where you would think he would be able to have some success with it, considering who he is and the amount of baseball and the level of baseball he has already played in his career. And Chaim did give an update on those changes and where they're at right now with Liam Doyle.
There are a few things there that have been going on behind the scenes to try to get him to a better spot, both in terms of where we're taking the arsenal, even in terms of some little mechanical things that he's doing that have been worked on in the last couple of weeks, couple things that our pitching team found that we think can get him to a better version of himself quicker. Even with all that, there's some things that he's doing that are taking him out of his comfort zone. Taking a pitcher who was basically in college a 2-pitch pitcher because he could be, and developing some usable breaking balls and even some different fastball looks that ultimately have a chance to make him a top rotation major league starter. There's obviously a long way between now and then, but there were some things behind the scenes that are being worked on in the last couple outings. He's actually been able to take them into the game, and that's what you want to see. That's what the development process is for, and it's nice to see some of those things taking hold.
And then final thing, we get asked about this guy all the time, Tink Hence. And I was as excited about him as anybody this year in spring training, knowing that it's been a roller coaster, knowing that it's very much been start and stop for him. But there were moments in spring where he looked awesome. Well, he gets to Memphis this year, and it did not go well for him. 8 outings, an 8.64 ERA, 7 strikeouts, 9 walks, a 286 average against. Since then, he has been reassigned to the complex league, so he goes back to the facility in Jupiter, and this is what they're trying to do with him right now.
Yeah, so Tink, this one's been the tougher one. We've obviously talked about this for a couple of years. You're talking about an incredibly athletic, hardworking kid who we've seen some of his top end on the field. We just haven't been able to see it consistently enough. And we actually have him right now out of competition at the moment just to try to rework some things with his routine so he can bring his best stuff into the game from pitch one when he comes into the game. We saw a trend in recent outings where he was actually coming into the game almost like he was kind of feeling his way into the outing, and obviously that's not something that will play at the big league level, even though he's been able to have occasional success with it at AAA. So there's been kind of a step back from competition just to try to rework a lot of different things in his routine and his preparation. Now, when I say preparation, don't get me wrong, this isn't a work ethic issue. This is a tremendous kid who really works hard. It's more about just trying to figure out what are the X's and O's of him leading up to coming into the game, whether it's, working backwards all the way from that first pitch to what is he doing in the bullpen, to what's he doing early in his day, what's he doing in the weight room, what's he doing in the training room, and just trying to find something that gets him to his top end right away when he comes into the game and that he can stay healthy doing for the course of a season. So we know we haven't quite found this one yet, so we're taking a step back, trying some different things, and encouraged about where those might lead, but we'll have to see as he gets into this in the coming weeks.
That is Cardinals President of Baseball Operations Chaim Bloom, some of what he had to say with Tom Ackerman during Sports on a Sunday Morning. One more break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up this edition of the program. You are locked into a Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA.
Giddy up! It's the Cardinal Cowboy. Is your garage door past its prime? Get a free repair or replacement quote from Renner Garage Door. Renner is America's oldest family-owned garage door company that serves both wholesale and retail markets. Right now, get $100 off a new garage door when you mention this ad. With trusted brands like Delden, Amar, LiftMaster, you know it's built to win. Renner's also hiring experienced techs and installers. RennerDoorSTL.com. Forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
On Saturday, May 16th, join KMOX and Grassroots Redeeming Love in commemorating 1 year since the historic EF3 tornado that devastated North St. Louis with a short morning of service. Volunteers will meet in the Kingsway East neighborhood from 9 to 11 to help clear tree limbs and trash. If interested in RSVPing for the cleanup or interested in donating to the effort, go to KMOX.com/events for more information.
The summer heat and humidity will be here soon. Is your air conditioner ready? This is Corey with Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. If your cooling system hasn't been checked to be ready for the warm weather, call Air Comfort Service. AC checks keep your equipment operating at maximum efficiency, prevent repairs, and extend the life of your equipment. For every AC clean and check booked in April, we'll donate a bag of pet food to Open Door Animal Sanctuary in House Springs. Stay in your comfort zone with a cooling system check from Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Save big money in your next project when you shop at Menards. Pittsburgh's ultra-advanced semi-transparent exterior stain and sealant in one can be applied to damp wood, allowing you to clean the surface and stain in 1 day. Save big on ultra-advanced wood stain today. View our entire selection of stains and accessories on Menards.com. Plus, check out our weekly flyer to find all the great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers, advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Lance Drury Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Lance Drury Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call me, Lance Drury in St. Louis, at 314-260-6120 or visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I'm Debbie Monterey, and I see more clearly thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Make your appointment today at 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Rhino Shield is engineered to outlast paint by a lot, backed with our 25-year transferable warranty. Paint a house, shield a home. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, steel, aluminum, cedar, and more. We are the only coating company selected by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where all 3 episodes concentrate on unpainted brick. If you maintain or own a business with a tired-looking building, you owe it to yourself to look at Rhino Shield and our beautifully durable color schemes. Evaluations are free. We're making buildings pop and be noticed again, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks, exceeding expectations every day with our products, people, and performance. Now is the time to call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or go to 877-25rhino.com and see how honest and transparent we really are. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports Open Line. Once again, Matt Pauley on KMOX.
Starting to wrap things up on this edition of a Gray Bar Sports Open Line right here on KMOX. Again, no Cardinals baseball tonight, and then we're going to get back at it coming up tomorrow evening when they are in West Sacramento, set to open up a 3-game series against the A's. And that's not a bad A's team that they're going to match up against, and it's an interesting ballpark to play in, AAA ballpark. Things can go a little bit haywire there, so we'll see. I don't know how it's going to go down. I'll be honest, I don't feel great about the series, but at the same time, it is a series that they should be able to have some success against just based off who the two teams are. Andre Palante is going to go in the series opener tomorrow. Then they'll also see Matthew Liberatore and Michael McGreevy over the course of the 3 days. I hadn't really gotten the chance to talk about this much today. And, I mean, this isn't really like a sports talk segment because there's not a whole lot to say except to just be thankful and grateful that somebody is okay. But what a scary situation involving Mizzou running back Ahmad Hardy, who was at a concert in Mississippi and got shot. And the details of this are not really available at this point. According to a statement from a Missouri football spokesperson and then a social media statement that was put out, he is in stable condition. The statement read in part, Ahmad is deeply loved by his teammates, coaches, friends, family, and fans. We will continue to stand beside him and his family through this difficult time, offering our love, prayer, strength, and support. When I was thinking about doing the show today, there's nothing more to say about this. There's 2 things to say. A, just be really thankful and grateful that he is alive and that it seems like he is going to be okay. I don't think it's terrible to talk about the football side of it. The football side of it is way down the list in terms of priorities, but it does sound like he will be able to play football again. Nobody has given any type of timeline or anything like that at this point. And evidently, according to the Laurel Leader call, there was a melee, that's the term that was used, a melee that took place in the early morning, Sunday morning, so essentially Saturday night at this bar. There had been a scheduled concert there there was a large crowd, and then all of a sudden, I guess gunshots rang out, is what it says in the newspaper article. 3 people believed to be connected to the shooting were booked into the Jones County, Mississippi jail over the weekend. 2 of them, interestingly enough, appear to have played high school football with Hardy, so maybe they knew him. I don't know. Like, again, we don't know many details on this except for the fact that he is okay. He's in recovery. He did have to have surgery, and that he is going to be okay at some point in time. He put together a really, really, really good season this past year with 1,649 yards rushing and 16 touchdowns, running for 100-plus yards in 8 straight games. So just glad that he's going to be okay, it would appear. And the football side of it will work itself out at some point in time, but the human side of it is clearly the most important side of it. And good to hear that. That could have... Our tone and what we're talking about today could be incredibly different if things would have gone, obviously, very, very differently. So you never want to see somebody get shot, but glad that he is going to be okay and come out of it. And on that note, that's going to do it for this edition of a Gray Bar Sports Open Line. Thanks to all of our guests tonight, and look forward to talking to you tomorrow. We'll have Redbird Rush Hour, we'll have a little bit of Sports Open Line, and then we'll have Cardinals baseball all coming up on your home of the Cardinals, KMOX.